Listen. It's Frankenstein. That way.
When they hit me, when we were talking about that, and you were like, talk shit back. I was like, God.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh man. I feel like, are you a part of the Blood In Blood Out Facebook fan group? Hold that to yourself.
Oh, yep.
If you don't mind.
Yep.
You can make it more natural too if we gotta like turn it there.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, there I am.
There we go.
Whoa.
So you're a part of the Facebook.
Oh yeah.
The
Follow
fan.
all that.
Oh dude, the Facebook
So much
group.
shit that they post up on there.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. Every single thing they do is a reference to
Yep. They've been doing those new.
Blood In, Blood Out.
They've been doing those new action figures and stuff, and like the puppets and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I seen that puppet one you did. I was like, dog, that's fire, bro.
No, I grabbed it from them.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I just took it and LRVT'd it. You know what I mean? Turned it into a little promo for us. But shout out, Blood In, Blood Out. Well, are we live now, Eric?
You're talking about the Muppets picture you put up earlier, right?
Yeah, the Blood In, Blood Out Muppets photo.
Because that photo is actually a classic photo from the movie where they're all in prison as La Onda. And so when I seen that, I was like, dog, I got to have this as a poster, bro.
Come on, it's my parole picture.
My parole picture, Papa, yeah.
I remember when Justin told me about that movie for the first time. You introduced me to that movie because it was like your favorite.
Oh, yeah, it's
I
up
don't know
there.
if it still is, but
It's up there.
It was up there at the top, I think, when we were younger. And so I pirated that shit in 2 parts. Watched that shit and like almost cried when I watched that shit. And I was like, I get it. I
Oh,
get
so you
why
actually
like
watched
so
it?
much. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it.
It's a
but
3-hour movie.
Yeah, that's why I had to fucking pirate it in 2 parts. I do.
Well, what's crazy is like I've seen it so many times now. When I watch it, it doesn't seem like 3 hours because I just know it all so well.
Yeah.
That I just know what's gonna happen.
I feel the same way about Star Wars.
Yeah, same, exactly. Well, speaking of, I do got a little gift for y'all.
A gift?
Yeah, man, I got a gift for y'all. I always bring gifts. You know what I'm saying? This is actually a poster that I grabbed at Scissorhand Design Studio. Miklo, the main character in the movie, actually came and did some signing autographs, meet and greet situation.
What?
So I was able to meet him and get some photos with him. I got the DVD movie actually signed, and then I got this jacket, obviously La Onda jacket, signed as well. And he actually signed this one as well for you too. And I know it looks like chicken scratch. I'm surprised that somebody
I can see DC, Damien Chapa,
Miklo. It's funny because we were making fun of it. We were like, dude, he's got
That's a VL right there. I know what that is.
Yep. He was like, we were like, he's got a signature of a 5-year-old. Like, what is happening? But yeah, man, I wanted to, this was on my wall, and I wanted to bring you guys this gift for just, returning me to the pod and joining me into the fam. And yeah, man.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you.
There you go.
My dog, this is an incredible gift. I was telling who was I just saying it to? Was it to you? But that the only other gift we've ever gotten on the podcast before was this tie. Shout out to Luke Sky, got us a Lone Ranger tie, and it's been in every single podcast since. I think we even take it. Did we take it? Oh, I don't know if we took it to your guys' 2 events.
We took it to the live show. It was with us for that. I thought I brought it to the last one. I think we did put it up. We brought it to the last one at the what was that venue called?
Orchid,
yeah, the old whorehouse, right? Like that had to be an old whorehouse, right? Or burlesque house.
probably.
I don't know. It's fire in there. Like
it was pretty cool. I was impressed.
The
From
aesthetic is dope.
The top part where there's like a lady selling tamales, but also you can just see everything going on down. It was cool.
Oh,
and
at
the little front
man.
bar, and
I couldn't believe there was a tamale lady. Boy, I ain't never been to a show with a tamale lady.
Me
That was
neither.
top 3.
He literally walked up, found me, then saw the tamale and was like, "Oh, hold on, I gotta go get some tamales."
Wait, you talking about the first Who's Got the Juice?
Yeah,
when we had.
that was at Temple.
Yeah, that was at Temple. That one was at Temple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that
was the one we were on the roof
tamales,
for.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, we need to bring.
I was getting
we
that
need
all
to bring her
crossed up in my mind.
for this event too.
Shout out to my girl Betty. Yeah, she does some fire tamales, the green chili. Like I can't lie, man. Like my grandmother makes the firest green chili that you'll ever.
That's
have.
your grandma that was out there?
No, that's the homie. So
okay.
long story short, we went to high school together, and then we reconnected on some like business stuff because she does like food, and so we do events, and like I would have her bring her tamales and her green chili out, and so we linked her up. I mean, tamales inside a temple, that had to have been a first. You know what I mean? Like straight up, like the culture is there.
Bro, at the end, she straight up hooked me up because I was going to pay her and she was like, don't worry about it. You guys did a great job.
She's
and she
fired,
hooked me up with a whole 12, like a dozen tamales. And I was like, here's $40. You know what I mean? Like I had to show love.
Bro, I've been to hundreds of shows. I have never been to a show with a tamale lady in the back, and that was the best thing I could have asked for. I remember because that temple, it was up top too, so there's that whole wraparound up top. So I'm sitting there up against like the railing, holding a smothered tamale, sitting there watching these fools battle, and dude, it was a dream.
Well, what's funny about that is in the beginning scene of the movie, Miklo gets out of jail, and the first thing he does is goes to Tres Puntos and grabs tamales.
And then he gets them again
and then he grabs him and he fucking does his thing. You know what I'm saying? And when he grabs him, he's like, "No, como siempre, mijo." Like he was like, "We're always gonna have him like this," you know. But one thing I never understood is like, how did he eat that tamale? Because he literally just grabbed it from the bag and just ate it. Did he eat the fucking
husk?
The husk too? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he didn't even you know how much of a process that is? Like anytime that I have a tamale for breakfast to go to work or something, it's always like I have to have it before I get on the road, because if not, I'm sitting there trying to take the musk off.
No, you know what he did?
How did you just gotta squeeze it from the bottom like a popsicle?
Nah,
like one of them chicken pops.
Push pop.
Fucking Go-Gurt. My man's got a Go-Gurt tamale. No, I think honestly he folded the tamale over a bunch of times. And then it's like he's holding it like you would fold down a burrito paper, but which means his hands are getting all greasy.
Yeah.
And I've always thought about that. Yeah. I'm like, your fucking hands got to be so greasy. But if it's bomb, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. But for what it's worth, this is an incredible gift, my dude. I cannot believe that you'd even let us look at it, let alone you're telling us it's for us. So I will tell you right now, this is
Wish it was personally, like Wish is said to the Lone Ranger podcast, but
it does. It says La Onda right there.
It says La Onda right there.
La Onda right there.
That's the Spanish word for Lone Ranger.
So I know. So that's for us. And
awesome.
By the next podcast, this will absolutely be a permanent fixture.
Hell yeah.
But I'm gonna get a frame for it.
Dope.
Yeah,
I don't want. How do you display something like that though? Do you just keep the signature a secret?
Right, that's what I thought.
That's the hard part. That's why I'm guessing you didn't have it in a frame. It looks like, because it's like you gotta.
Hey, as long as you know, as long as you know,
we'll just hang it from the ceiling on a double-sided glass, and we'll hang it from the ceiling so it can rotate.
Back. So you find another poster with the front, and then you put that next to
each other.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
That's fine.
I was thinking of a two-way thing. I couldn't, but. Get another one.
I like your idea. That's way futuristic. Well,
he couldn't sign the front because you wouldn't have been able to see it.
Yeah,
not on that pen. Depends on one of them like gold.
I mean, honestly, I think it would look fresh too if we got a frame and put like a little custom plaque on it, and maybe the plaque just says signed by Miklo.
Yeah,
like it just says something simple like that, but the plaque itself will make it look like, oh shit, that's an official one.
Exactly.
That's different.
Exactly.
And then when somebody asks like, hey, is that like the official movie poster? I'm like, no, actually, it's signed by Miklo. It was a gift we got from Hector. Spoke-In-Wordz.
Orale.
My dog, I appreciate you. This is so hard.
My sign of appreciation for having us, man. Thank you.
Yeah, the podcast love language is actually gift receiving. So go ahead and keep bringing them gifts if you're coming on.
Shit, you know what? We typically have a gifts for our guests. At least more recently, we had one for you last time, and we don't have one this time.
Totally fine.
Hey, pizza and beer, that's a gift.
Pizza, I was just
pizza and beer.
That's
you beat
behind
me
the
to
scenes gifts.
You beat me to it.
You're not supposed to be talking about that stuff. That's behind the scenes. You can't set that expectation up on
Oh no, that was just for us, y'all. That ain't for y'all.
Yeah, we're special.
Don't be coming over here to be on the podcast thinking you're getting pizza too, okay?
Yeah,
you're bringing pizza.
You got to be doing promote when we make mistakes on our own promotions and then fix them with a great reference to one of the greatest movies
Blood
of
and
all
Blood
time.
Out reference. And it was perfect because the last time he was here, we went on a whole Blood and Blood Out tangent too then because he's wearing the Onda jacket. And it just all ties it together. That's
well, it was just funny because when you like I seen you at the liquor store grabbing beer for the pod on a Monday, and you were like, see us tomorrow, come see us tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, tomorrow, that's a Tuesday. And then I see you post on Tuesday, hey, tonight, check us out, and this and that. And so I
that's all on me.
I call him and I sent them the flyer that you guys made that said April 9th or April, what is it, 9th? Yeah. And I was like, hey, what the hell's going on? So I call him and he's just like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hey, bro, is it tonight or tomorrow? Because on the flyer it says tomorrow. And he was like, no, it is tomorrow. My bad. I fucked up. Go ahead and just make like a promo video and just go ahead and talk shit to me. And I was just kind of like, the first thing I thought about was the scene where basically Paco was like in the hospital and like they're all trying to go attack like the gang, and he's like, no, he's like we're not gonna go tonight. He's like I got some poison for a spider, but for tomorrow. And so being that it was like then tomorrow, the next day, I was like, dude, this is perfect. Yo. And then all of a sudden, we kind of just went on this tangent of the blood in, blood out thing.
Hell yeah.
I know I wore this jacket last time. I was gonna wear a different one, but I'm like, if we're gonna go with it, let's just go all the way with it.
Right on, man.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing along.
I love it. It was perfect, dude. Because I didn't know what to expect.
That's what you get pizza for.
Well, he told me to not.
Guess that's what earns you pizza.
He told me to talk shit.
Well, and I knew he would. And again, I know what I'm signing up for. Spoke is my dude, so I'm allowed to tell him to talk shit about me real quick. I'm like, oh yeah, I fucked that up, dude. I'm sorry. Talk shit like that'll make it funny. I'm like, the controversy might even.
And I was like, Justin, shut up.
We're not gonna be hitting him tonight. Hey, we're gonna be hitting him tomorrow morning. Or dude, it was just.
Perfect.
I got. What did you say? And then you said I'm gonna hit him tomorrow. I got some poison for a spider, but for tomorrow.
And our poison. And
that's perfect.
Well, and the poison. Like I was just thinking of a metaphor. Or my poison is the stuff that I brought you guys from next one. Hey. Not that it's a poison like in a bad way, but you know what I mean. Like
I feel you.
If you're like Spider, I'm like I got some shit for you. You know what I mean?
I built myself a righteous pad here.
I got you.
Yeah.
What reminds me of Oz.
Yeah.
Ecstasy, coke, love, y'all.
Oh yeah,
poison. School's where I learned from. Should burn, they be poison.
Dude, hey, I got a fun, controversial take on Nas. If you're interested,
yeah.
I think Nas is, of course, one if not the best rapper of all time. He's one of the best rappers of all time, arguably up there in the GOAT. My man's cannot choose a beat to save his life.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
What you mean lately?
Ever?
I mean, really, ever? I think
no
lately.
Way.
I think lately
Bro,
he's
he
been
flipped the same beat on like 8 or 9 albums.
Well, lately,
that's
and
just
he's been dropping recent projects, and they're all with like in collab with like. Maybe not even necessarily like up and coming producers, but producers who were like hot in 2010 who haven't been doing as much, but it's like he's doing it with them. So when they're able to choose the beats for him, it's different. But go listen to any of like his classic albums. And I'll tell you, unless Primo was there to choose everything for him or somebody else, those fucking beats are trash.
Wow, I don't agree with that one. I don't. I think
that's definitely a hot take, bro. That's
I know.
So wait. So what were you going into, Godson?
Think about the Godson album.
All right, that's fair. But Godson wasn't necessarily like.
One, he had some cool songs.
But the beats on Illmatic,
Warrior song was really dope.
Stillmatic and
Illmatic, I Am, like
those were ridiculous.
Nostradamus, like that shit, and a lot of people don't like give Nostradamus like.
I don't know if Nostradamus was as dope though. Like
Nostradamus wasn't as dope
as beat wise though.
I'll take that to the grave, man, because like Nostradamus was like. Probably hands down one of the deeper, like where he went into like more of a poetic thing to me. Like,
well, Nas is one of my favorite, that's a premier beat of all time. It's another premier beat. And then, I don't know who the fuck produced my favorite Christmas song of all time, Shoot 'Em Up.
144, dude. That shit is so raw, bro.
I don't know who produced my favorite Christmas song of all time.
Yeah.
but that one knocks. But you're telling me there's a bunch of them in there, dude, that were the Nostradamus song.
God love us.
That's
next to Jesus on the cross was a hood, but he forgive us, God. Like,
awful beat, dude. And
okay.
And I think about it where I'm like, if we could, like, I bet in a remix way, you could make this into a banger. But instead, the only people appreciating some of the, like, Nostradamus or even some of the, like, the Stillmatic tracks felt that way. Especially, what was the one after Stillmatic? It was the beat tape one?
Lost Tapes.
The Nas tapes?
No, it was The Last Supper.
Oh, it was at the Last Supper. What man?
There was like a double disc, right? There was the double disc Last Supper. The one that was Black Republican was on. That was Nas and Jay-Z.
Yeah, and that was a cool beat.
Not Jay-Z, Jeezy.
I was gonna say that one sounded like.
I think it was Black Republican was the name of the. Nah.
I think it was Black Republican.
Yeah, was that the name of the? Okay, yeah.
Feeling like a Black Republican.
Yeah.
I don't remember how it works, but I know how it goes.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, Nas, one of my favorite rappers of all time, and I always feel like my man's can't pick a beat.
I just feel like, you know, compared to the stuff he's done in the past, like the stuff lately has been hard for me to like tune into, just because I haven't been a fan of some of the production personally.
Yeah,
but he's still killing it lyrically.
Oh, he dropped what was it, King 3? Is that the name of the album? And it just kind of came out like within the last year, and that one's got some heaters on it, boy. Like there's some.
I still have yet to listen to the whole thing.
I'd
heard a couple, but I still have yet to listen to the whole thing. For sure.
I saw him last year at Red Rocks, and with
with the symphony.
Oh, bro, that shit was so fire. That shit was so dope. Like I can't even say, but
yeah.
So I've had this relationship, right? Like Nas has always been my favorite rapper since Jump, like since I was a kid, and I fell off when I seen him at Red Rocks and homie got too high or drunk.
Yo, that's Red Rocks.
Yeah,
you need oxygen tanks to perform.
He couldn't
that
breathe. He was like saying a couple words and giving it to the audience the whole time. And so like I'm gonna be real, like. I didn't see him for maybe like another 3 years after that. And then I think it was him and Lauryn Hill at the Fillmore is what I believe.
Mm-hmm. That's the one we performed for.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I cried at that show, bro. Lauryn Hill was...
Lauryn
Hill...
Oh,
no.
Was it the hip-hop?
Yeah, it was him and Lauryn Hill, and Lauryn Hill...
No, the one that we did was Hip Hop is Dead tour.
Okay, yeah, no, this was Lauryn Hill came out...
That one has some whack beats. Great songs, whack beats.
Yep. She came out, bro. She did the whole...
Like I just said, it did.
The whole score. She did the whole score. Everybody's verse. Fucking rapid fire with the live band, bro. And I fucking... Like, that shit was just so raw to me.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Hell yeah.
But I was turned off to Nas for like maybe like 10 years. And just because of that Red Rock show, bro, it disappointed
me. Was it the one that was... You're talking about the Red Rock show that was... It was Rock the Bells, wasn't it?
For the Rock the Bells, I think he came out with a tiger.
What?
Yeah,
no,
he literally came out with
not
at Red Rocks.
Not at Red Rocks. He didn't. It might have been Rock. It was Rock the Bells. Yes, it was Rock the Bells.
It was a lion or something.
Sucked.
And that was the only time I've ever seen Nas, and I saw him from On the Rocks. So I climbed the rocks. Don't do that. I'm not.
Yeah, no, you can't do that anymore.
Red Rocks, okay?
I mean, it's good. It's good cardio.
But I climbed the rock and I watched him from up there, and I remember thinking like, this is cool. But like, I'm glad I didn't pay. And that was the only time I ever saw him until last year when I saw him with the symphony. And boy,
that was fire,
dude. But the symphony, like it's perfect for Red Rocks, for rap, and especially for that classic hits, right? So he did all of Illmatic with the symphony. So each one, because of Primo, you know what I mean, and those samples, each one of those was a heater, dude. And he did like Can I Live, bro, one of my favorite beats of all time. R.I.P. Irv Gotti. And Colorado Symphony killed that. But the thing is that because the symphony's up there and then he was in a suit, it like allowed him to calm down and still give like a really fresh ass performance, but he didn't have to be hyped. And I think that helped, like, you know what I mean? The altitude, even just like getting into it as far as like a Nas show. So then by the time he's like in the second half and he starts doing like they shooting and shit like that. And then it's just like, it was just, Dude,
the Red Rock show is interesting because I've seen so many groups up there that I literally watch them go, like they'll perform a song here and there, and then they go back and they hide behind the fucking stage and they take hits of oxygen from the oxygen tank, literally just so they can fucking keep breathing. Especially when I watch the Tech Nine show, because Tech Nine obviously like he raps with that rapid style, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like everybody that was performing with them was like running to the back to take hits of the oxygen tank, and I never seen Tech do it once, and he absolutely destroyed. That show was for Up in Smoke, or not what what is it called again? The Red Rocks
Rock the Bells.
Rock the Bells show.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because it was like Nas was there, Tech was there, Busta Rhymes was there.
Those shows always had
Wu-Tang
nasty
was
bills.
there. I mean, it had like
I never win. But they always
12
had
fucking
great
shows.
bills of people.
And what's crazy is after the Tech 9, sorry to get off the Nas tangent, but like after the Tech 9 went on, Busta Rhymes went on, and it just like, he was like upset that people didn't know his songs. Like at some point he was just like, y'all don't know my songs and shit. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, because Tech just when he's up there, he's got people doing this
Tech
whole
is
thing,
a local
and
hero.
people love. They all come to see him.
Yeah,
even when he was done with his set, people left to go eat.
Well, he's niche.
Go hang out. You know what I mean?
He's niche too, right? So it's like the cats that like Tech 9 are only gonna know some other very few specific.
Yeah, they don't even know Busta Rhymes.
So and for what it's worth, Tech style and Busta style go hand in hand together.
Yeah, they do.
But as a fan,
especially here in Colorado,
it's the same thing. Like if you had a Busta show and Tech 9 opened, most of Busta's fans would be like, he's cool, but like.
But you ain't having a Busta show with Tech 9 opening. No. It's the other way around.
Of course, I just mean theoretically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's definitely the other way around. Like, that's one thing like that.
Tech's following is stupid,
bro. What he's been able to prove as an independent artist, and what he's been able to do for himself and his brand and everybody, that like his entire crew is unreal.
It's unreal.
Oh yeah,
and it shows that you. And I've told artists this for a long time. It's like, you need 1,000 fans, right? 1,000 fans that are going to buy your merch, that are going to go to your show, that are going to pay attention to you, right?
Yeah.
And you can make a living off that. You can, as an artist, you can make a living off that. Now, once you get to that plateau, it's like the algorithm, right? Like Instagram and shit. Once you get to that, you do the right things, you market yourself in the correct way, that shit is going to blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
But it's just getting to that point where you have that many people that will believe in you and will get your merch and your CDs, I'm fucking old, get your shit when it drops, will fucking stream your shit. That's all you need.
So, but let me ask. I'm gonna ask you a question, an opinion, and both of you guys can answer as far as I'm concerned. So, and I've made this argument before, right? And it wasn't I didn't make the argument for me for real. I just made the argument to prove a point, because a lot of times, in the greatest of all time, people talk about rap, and they always want to talk about like, oh, okay, well, they'll talk about who was the most prolific and like these things, and then somebody's always going to name a rapper or make the excuse that somebody isn't selling enough, or their following isn't big enough, and like that kind of thing. And then they'll go bring it down to like, well, they couldn't throw a show and do this. And so when people start doing that to rappers, when it stops being just about rap, stops being about the music, and it starts being about the hustle, about the marketing, about how much you're making, about how many fans you're growing. I'm like, if you want to add up all those markers as your criteria, Tech 9 is the best rapper of all time.
100%.
Yeah, and I don't, and I mean, the boy can rap. Nasty. Like Tech 9 has never not been
at the age
rap.
that he is too.
Question
right
though, like, and a lot of people like will and won't like this opinion, but like, it is between Tech 9 and Eminem when it comes to those you're talking numbers and you're talking all of this. But then what also goes with that is you have a lot of people within hip hop that say that they catered, or not necessarily that they catered, but their main fan group and base are white people.
I know.
And so white people are 60% of the population. And so like nationwide. And so when you have that as your backing, you know, those numbers are somewhat skewed, but in the eyes of those people, it doesn't take away from, in my opinion, the skill, the talent, and what they bring to the table. Mm-hmm. But it does throw a little, you know, if people are paying attention to nuance, which I do on the regular basis, and I believe more people should, then yeah, there is a caveat in there. There is, when it comes to real hip hop heads, trying to define the best rapper of all time.
Yeah.
That, you know.
I think for me too, as a lyricist, like, regardless to that point,
lyricism,
there's no fucking with that shit, bro. There's just they will destroy you, and they still sit in that throne. Like for me, that's my two top. The fact that you just said that, and Tech, those are my two.
I'm the third
rappers. So, yeah,
I knew it.
Pepsi.
Oh, that's good stuff. What time is it, Eric? What time we got
Are we
over
good?
here? 7:42 p.m. It is April 9th, 2025. My name is Justin. To my far left, your right, that's going to be Steven. Straight ahead of us producing our magnificent producer. Huh? That's how magnificent he is.
That you just named also.
Yeah, I know. We're working over here, okay? It's about intent. It's about trying my best. Okay, I'm doing my best over here. And for what it's worth, we got a special guest with us who brought his own special guest because he's allowed to do that as our special guest. We've got Spoke-In-Wordz in the place to be. Know what I'm talking about?
Ooh.
And then we got the homie Adrian Garcia, right? That's your last name?
Yeah, Garcia. AG from the 303.
AG from the 303. Up here with the LRVT. And this is the Lone Ranger versus Tonto up in this motherfucking hoe. What it do, baby boo? It's been about 5 months now.
November, I think.
Since our last podcast. It was the election night was our last podcast.
Things got a little scary after the election night. Some of the predictions that we made might have come true. And then things got a little hot. And so we had to take a little break. We're coming back to you now.
I was worried about y'all because that's why I reached out. And I was like, "What's going on?" I
really do.
I genuinely listen to your guys' podcast. Like it's like I only listen to maybe 4 or 5 podcasts, and I genuinely listen to yours as shit.
Hell
I try to interact and stuff, but I've noticed like
you do.
I was like, "What?" And I was like looking up, and I was looking up the YouTube.
Yeah,
and I go,
did I miss
5 months.
something?
I was like, "How long has it been?"
I mean,
yo.
here's what happened, and maybe this is allegedly that our group chat got infiltrated in some way. And all the messages that we sent to each other, none of them were getting into there for some reason. Right after our master debate, and it just so happened that our group chat broke after that.
Wow.
4 months, and then
Was it because of some of the things you guys were saying?
I mean, people are saying things, and that might be some of the things that they're saying that could have happened.
Got your phone tapped.
All I know is
Yeah, we got your phone tapped. Speaking of
we
sounds,
had to get off the text messages. We had to leave the SMS world.
One of the most. I'd argue that's top 3 most iconic beats of all time.
Oh,
The phone
like
tap
that?
beat.
You like that?
The
That's
phone
just
tap
hard.
fuck yeah, dude. That whole firm it's Dre.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's Dre.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Nonsense coming.
That's some heaters. Anyways, speaking of though, I mean, so it's been 5 months, and for at least 3 of those months, all 3 of us were under the impression that the other guys didn't want to do podcasts anymore. Once we figured that out, we're like, yeah, okay, we'll get on it, and nothing easier to make us jump on the ball than family doing something tight. And obviously, last time the Spoke was here, family was doing something tight. And so tell me real quick, fam, what fucking tight things are we doing now?
Oh man, lots of tight things happen. Yeah, man. Well, you know, the thing is I feel like you guys are the best podcast for me in town, and the way you guys produced this whole thing, I felt like it was only right to do it with y'all. You guys were a part of our last 2 events, the Who's Got the Juice at the Temple MC battle.
Honored to
and
be.
then you guys were there for the 5280 battle.
Honored
and
to be.
I just really appreciate you guys being there because it helps us out. It helps kind of promote the artists and everybody involved, and we're doing it again. And this is why I brought my right-hand man here. This is AG from the 303. Without him, I mean, I wouldn't be able to make this happen alongside our sponsors. And since we're already talking about that, I'll get into that right now. So I got you some gifts. Obviously, we got to come with some gifts here. This is a Next One cartridge. I'll give that to you. Man. This is actually a little cartridge container that goes with it. So
who does the design for Next One? Tell him from Justin that I really appreciate their designs.
From Bison Satellite.
Yeah, I always have too. Even when you're giving us other stuff, I always look at I'm a package.
The packaging,
and
yeah.
I always, and even you know what I mean. Even these carts, even just the basicness and understanding of less is more, and how fresh these are.
Yeah, well,
I appreciate.
Speaking of the design, do you want a black or a blue hat?
I'll take a black.
Okay, cool. And these are the new Next One hats. They actually have dope ass like the Next One design on the inner liner right there with the pink lid there. You want a blue or black?
That's nasty, y'all. Let's see if you can get a little bit in there.
You like the blue? You're liking that blue.
I think so, because I'll be honest, man.
Yellow bill.
I can't wear snapback hats.
But so you can have it as
well. This will go to my son because he loves to wear snapback hats, and he's a big Nuggets fan. And I think Oh yeah.
Why can't
And
you
my brother Eric
has?
got you one too, my
He's
friend.
not allowed. To,
You might be able to see from that angle how large my head is, and they literally don't.
They don't fit.
And I have to
go too
buy.
far this way.
I have to buy the special XXL hat from fucking Amazon because even this, like all the way at the end, it's not.
Ain't
fit.
nothing
I got a
about being
little
on the
peanut
left
ass
button
head,
either,
bro.
but,
So yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wear the snapbacks, but my son loves them.
There you go.
He'll definitely dig this one.
There you go.
Yeah, and now
Nuggets,
you're in
Nuggets colors.
competition. Yeah, he wears all kinds of other weed brand shit too because he's got a stepmom that works as a marketer
Awesome.
in the industry too.
That's
But
awesome.
This
shit right
shit,
here, hard.
that's
shit's
that's
hard.
rad.
That
You
shit's hard.
all see that?
So
little golden honey bear?
yeah, the little honey bear in there. So basically, I just wanted to bring you guys some gifts. From Next One. Obviously, they are our major sponsor alongside FAMBAM, Shisha Lifa,
The highly connected, Indico, Juicy.
Yep.
Who
Are you
else
putting
we
a
got
new pin in that over there, Justin? You already pin in the hat?
I'm putting it on right
Boom. That's ownership.
Throw it on there.
Yeah.
But basically, what we're doing, guys, April 17th, it's Who's Got the Juice DJ battle. Last year, we did the MC battle. This year, we're doing the DJ battle, obviously inspired from the movie Juice and working with Juicebox at Next One. We just decided to kind of put the concepts together. We originally wanted to do a DJ battle last year, but it ended up being an MC battle, which turned out great. But now we get the opportunity to actually do the DJ battle like in the movie. And one of the things I wanted to say, just to kind of clarify, is that this is a party rock competition. Like in the movie Juice, they kind of go like 60 seconds each, and they got like three rounds each, and they got to go back and forth situation where they're just kind of juggling, scratching, things like that. This is a little bit more intimate, where it's more of a party rock situation. So instead of doing it in that format, basically these DJs will have a 15-minute set where they get to kind of just put together different genres. These guys are putting country, rap, hip hop, EDM. They're doing everything in their sets to basically kind of fulfill exactly what the judges are looking for. And they get a 15-minute set. We are down to 6 that are going to the finals, and it's going to be exciting. So I really hope to see you there. I don't want you to miss out this show because this is going to be epic. There's really no one else doing it like this besides like
No one in the world is doing.
Well,
this shit.
there's
not.
Yeah.
No, there's not. Nobody ever in existence. Is it?
Not like
But
this.
here's the thing though too
there-
is we've got all right. So we've got one side. All right, we got the DJ battle. We got the shit going down. We've got celebrity guest judges, DJ Dynamics. We got DJ Lazy Boy from Souls of Mischief that just popped on, so he's going to be judging. DJ Chones, DJ Pause the Music, DJ Everly, all folks that are well known within the battle community, right? And
Fucking battle community. They're all well known in the Denver community.
the Denver
most of those
community,
folks.
worldwide community for a lot of them, right? And a lot of these things. And so we have that going on, and at the same time, well, not the exact same time, but to kick everything off, we have performances by my man right here, Spoke-In-Wordz.
Hey.
Sonny Nuke.
She Who
We
Won't Be
got
Named.
She Who Won't Be Named.
Named.
We got
We fuck with her on this podcast.
We got a whole ass cipher going on afterwards.
Yep.
So like this is hip hop and it's
Cypher dedicated to One Life. Rest in peace.
yeah, rest in peace, One Life, and that's dope too because like he always supported us. Like he supported everything that he did, and as an extension of how we all came together and started doing a lot of this battle stuff. Because I used to have a venue, Shisha Lifa Lounge, where we would do a lot of this stuff. Brought him and me into the same picture, right? And he supported us and me and as well. And so like showing love to him is important, and I'm glad that we're able to do that with this. So we've got a cipher, we got MCs, we got a little surprise, B-boys and B-girls probably popping in, you know what I mean?
They did last time.
They did last time, and so
We had the live auditions. So basically, what happened was we had 23 submissions online.
Yeah.
And so we, what we did was we narrowed those 23 submissions to, what was it, 10? Did we go to 10?
We went to 10, but somebody was unable to make it, so we went 9 the actual final day.
Yep. And then basically what we did is we went to the Denver DJ School. Oh, shout out to Denver DJ School. Shout out to DJ Chones. Without them also this would not happen. So what we did was we all came together to the Denver DJ School once we got all the online auditions in that we had the 10 and we had actual DJs deliberate on basically choosing their favorite 4. Right. And so, because we needed to make this fair, we're not trying to be like cherry picking, or what's the word I'm trying to find? We're not trying to be basically
bias. We don't want to
exactly.
show bias.
We don't want to show bias. And I know that there's been some criticism like, Spoke is not a DJ. How is he going to choose, who's going to make top or whatever? So I was like, okay, we're going to give this to Denver DJ School. And these guys are all teachers over at the Denver DJ School who know what they're doing. They're technicians on the turntables. And I just trusted the process. They chose their top 4, and then from there
even DJ Sin, like she's not necessarily involved in the school, but she's like highly respected within this space out here, but nationwide, bro. Like her name runs long in New York and a lot of other places too. Like so, like we're not bringing in any slouches to actually be judges, and the whole idea is to not show bias and to try to make it fair as possible, because I mean it's a cool thing to be involved with. It's a cool thing to like be able to give out some bread and really just highlight the city and what we do.
And what happened was they chose their 4. And then we needed what was it, 5?
No, they chose 6. And
6. Sorry,
4.
we needed.
Hold on. We're talking about from the finals to.
So they chose 6. We chose 6
from 9 to 6, and the judges just did that.
Right, and then so basically we let the online, the people online choose the other 3 or whatever.
Oh, that's hard.
If you're talking, okay, so
we just want to make sure that
we went from 23 to 10 and then 10 to 6. Sorry,
yes.
That's my mistake.
No, it's okay. So we just wanted to be like, not just choose between us, but let the internet decide.
Hell yeah.
Right? So we let the internet decide.
Or like the fucking MVP race in the NBA. You got
basically,
some, crowd shit.
Exactly.
You got some official stuff. I dig it. I like that system personally for the NBA. So this, I mean. Because you're covering all your bases, right? You're not just relying on one. The internet can give you some fucking fuck nuts kind of answers, right? What's the classic one that they always put in polls when they get to choose like the name of something?
Vote for Pedro.
Whatever face.
Yeah.
So if it's a boat, it's Bodie McBoat face. If you're naming a house, it's Housey McHouse face.
Yeah.
And it's the one that wins hands down every single time you let the internet decide.
McDJson, like that's what you'd end up with.
DJ face.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But there's a few things that are like now, like there's a few animals in some zoos that are named like Polar Bear McPolar Face or something like shit like that, because
hey, you got to give them a character.
The internet be interneting, but then you bring in the experts, you set the tone. You let them get. Usually, those answers are out like first. I don't know if that's how the NBA does it. I'm just making this.
Well, but at that point, it became a popularity contest because obviously we voted based on likes, shares, and things like that. Because
very cool.
What we want to do is we want to create the algorithm, right? And we want to make sure that this stuff
gotta juice the algos. Gotta juice the algos. If you got the juice, you got to juice the algos.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you bring up a really good point, right? And I've been doing just personally putting on events since like 2018. And the struggle that I've always had is getting people to buy in and promote themselves, promote as a group. And this is before not before, but during like the uprising of like social media and all of that. And this is probably the first time where we've got 80% of the people involved in the project to buy into what we're doing and actually participate.
Literally making videos of themselves, talking about it, telling people to come see them, telling their people to come show up, because that's what happened with the live auditions that we had at the Black Box. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous that we weren't gonna pull enough people, but we ended up having a line out the door, and it worked because obviously we had 10 DJs who brought at least 10 people each. You know what I'm saying? That's like 100 people, and then there were people walking in from there that were just talking to me that just literally had no clue this was going on and was like, yo, like I didn't know you guys were doing this. We were just passing by. No. It was a free show, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like,
and that's the big thing is like it's and even when we had a little production meeting this week and just talking to folks and trying to emphasize how this is working and what's happening. And so it's like, yo, did y'all get followers during this whole process? Everybody, when you seen a resounding, like everybody like, fuck yeah, yes. Like, because that's what I'm saying is like, we got a bunch of followers. Y'all got a bunch of followers. We expanded our networks, and it really comes down to I came up with a thing. Participation is vindication of dedication. It will show. If you participate, that will be your vindication of showing your dedication to the project.
No doubt.
And if
It's been
everybody does that shit, then it like all of these fucking sayings, like fucking a rising tide fucking raises all boats, like all of these fucking things, teamwork makes the dream work. They exist for a reason.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking true.
And it works because my algorithm right now is full of DJ shit. I'm talking like every little clip is like I'm learning about DJs I've never heard about. Obviously, DJs that I do know about. All the DJs that are competing. It's just so crazy, which is a lot better than having a bunch of. Never mind.
Yeah, I already know because mine's full of that too. We're talking.
My Instagram algorithm is like it's like whoa delete. Do not check.
Hey, put your Instagram in. Wait, actually no. Let me put your Instagram in, girl.
Real quick. I'm gonna jut in and just say what up to Jane DiLisio for being on here, and also my cousin mom. He's not this kind of DJ. Sorry, mom. But thank you for recommending.
Hey, that's okay. My dad was a DJ and he did weddings, and like it's funny because
he's like electronic music, dance, that kind of like where they got the neon lights and
hey,
stuff.
that's included too. That's included too.
Yeah. I'm that kind of DJ.
Yeah.
But also like my cousin.
I mean, I've been doing that shit
about my life.
Shout out.
Why are you talking shit about me?
Shout out to Levi W. Right now, his gig, what he's doing is he does like a dinner and DJ night where he like invites like 20 people over to his house for like a real intimate DJ session where he like spins for a while.
That's dope.
But at the whole same time, he's making like fresh Italian food and stuff
That's
like that.
fire.
And then like
I'd like to go to that party.
I'm inviting myself.
Are we inviting?
When he told me about it, I was like, please come on and like invite me to the next one. Jesus, dude, that sounds amazing. Because he just lives over here in Aurora too, like not far from here.
Well,
Cool little house. They make dinner for everybody, and then he just starts cutting up, or we'll have somebody else doing it while he's cooking. And like a buddy that does the same kind of like dance music, but I'm sure they just do all kinds of
I would
stuff.
invite him to the show because we don't want to cater to just this being a hip hop DJ show. This is not just a hip hop DJ show.
It's not because you're moving through multiple genres.
Exactly. This is a party rock session where you're going to hear everything. Like I said, there's DJs in there mixing in all kinds of different genres that you wouldn't expect. And from what I saw, what we did at the live audition,
Producer.
Yeah, I know.
How DJ Popo opened up.
Yeah. From what I saw at the live auditions, bro, I mean, just for an example of who's talking about, DJ Popo, he's from Atlanta. He actually flew out and like invested in himself to come and compete in this competition. And he's one of my top favorites from the live auditions. That dude was incredible.
So check it. You remember Ice Cream Man.
But make sure we need to name the
I got you. You remember Ice Cream Man, right?
You talking about Master P's ice
Master
cream?
P, like the old, but the
Mr. Ice Cream Man.
All right, so he's got
Ice
that,
cream
and then you know
man.
Pepas,
Boy,
right?
you got that me going.
The song, the na 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 na.
Oh, and then he hit him?
And oh my god, bro! So he starts off with that beat, and he slows down that fucking. Is it called Pepas? Is that?
I think so.
Yeah, and the way, because the DJ before him, hype as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Crowd's going crazy, all this shit, whoop de whoop, and then he opens up with that, and it was slow, and it was like fucking your regular ass, normal ass person is, just standing there, but then you see all the DJs, and you see everybody looking at each other like with what he's actually fucking doing,
Yeah.
and just the nasty yuck mouth, like. Like this shit is fucking dude.
And then all of a sudden he was hitting those little buttons and it was like and I was like and it was like din 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 and it was just like yo, everybody just went nuts, bro. So the point is we want everybody to come. We want, it doesn't matter if it's what your genre is. We want to make sure that we give this show and that you don't miss this opportunity to check something like this out because it's pretty incredible. I didn't even realize what we did until the end of the night that night. We were like, yo, as it was happening, we were like, yo, this is fucking crazy.
When is this shit happening?
Yeah, I was gonna say
April 17th.
Where at?
17th.
Yep, and it's going to be at the Black Box. And there's all kinds of cool stuff going on. Tickets are on sale right now. I think they're on sale for $15. What are they at the door?
25
at the door. There's also VIP options where people could buy into getting like a gift bag, a bottle service, and things like that. We'll make sure that we shoot you guys all the links and all that stuff so we can add all those things. And we're just super excited. Oh, do you want to name the top 6 that made it from the live auditions?
All right, I'm going just straight off the top. So we're going to start with DJ Popo. Shout out to DJ Popo. He's coming out here from fucking Atlanta. Like, he came out, he flew out, you know, on his own dime, came, crushed it. He's the one who was just talking about.
To just audition, he came out and was like, I'm taking a trip to Denver.
This is literally what he does.
I like it.
He goes around the country, around the world, and this is what he does. This is like his shit.
Make sure you follow him because
DJ Popo at DJ Popo, fire as fuck. And then we've got DJ Domneezy. Domneezy actually scored the highest at the last audition, and so he's killing it. We got DJ Slickback. He's 15 years old.
15 years old, this kid. Actually, so Slickback, we did interviews after they got off stage for the live auditions, and one of the things that Popo, who is to me probably my favorite, one of the things that he said, they're all awesome. I don't want to like favorite, but and I don't get the judge, so don't worry about it. But one of the things that DJ Popo said in his interview was like, "Yo, that 15-year-old kid is incredible." Like, he said that coming from him, saying that this kid is incredible.
That's wild.
He's 15 years old, bro, and he just absolutely crushed it. The fact that he has the knowledge of all these songs and he's 15, and he knows about classic. He was throwing classics in there, bro, stuff that we listened to. You know what I mean? Grew up listening to, and it was kind of funny because, like, you know, we had a little bit of a La Bamba moment, you know, where Richie Valens is like performing at that school, and then his brother Bobo comes in, and he's just like, fucking like. Trying to fight people. Like, his dad came in. I think he was a little tipsy, and there was a little bit of a situation there. But it was a movie, man, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's off the hook. I mean, that part's not off the hook. I don't think
it is and it isn't at the same time. You know, it's like, because here's the thing: is like, Black Box as a venue, it's very self-policing.
Where's it at?
It's on 13th and Grant, and so like.
Okay, I can kind of picture that little Cap Hill kind of.
Well, little Cap Hill, but at the same time, the bass community are like little does in the headlights. You know what I mean? They have their own.
Hold on, you're gonna have to back up
issues.
and explain the does in the headlights.
They have their issues, but they're not necessarily like. They're not privy to and haven't really experienced like that life. That gangster life.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of things sometimes comes with, you know, the type of music, the type of environment, the type, you know, that type of thing. So like they're very well self-policed in a sense that they're not going to get violent, they're not going to have fights, they're not going to do all that.
Yeah, don't worry.
Their shit is more like ketamine and fucking, you know, shit like that.
Yeah. So don't worry. That's
so
not
you
gonna
might
happen.
OD, but
it's
you ain't
gonna be
gonna,
fine.
you know, like.
But Slickback is a little cholo, man. He actually wears the net. The net, you know,
that's hard.
The cholo nets to get your hair like feathered back. He actually rocks the net, and I'm like, dude, who is this kid? Like he literally
the 15-year-old kid who's cutting up rocks a hairnet,
rocking a hairnet, killing some classic
lunch
music.
lady ass. That's so cool.
How does he even know that? Yeah. But just to finish off, so we don't forget the other two DJs. There's Thread Savage and also DJ Mr. Groove, who are also a
and Big Nifty
and Big Nifty.
Yep. So Mr. Groove, fire. All around the city, Big Nifty throwing in some Teen Titans in the mix, like, was crazy. And then DJ Thread Savage. Oh, Thread Savage. He's fucking local, man. Like
that's a hard ass name too.
That's a hard ass name.
And a lot and they're all and most of these guys are also heavily involved with the Denver DJ School. So make sure y'all go check out the Denver DJ School. Get some classes done. They teach kids. They teach adults. It's a fun time. It's a place where you can kind of just go and just kind of zone out and do what you like if you like playing music. So definitely go check them out. All the guys that actually voted for most of these guys, they're actually teachers there that can teach you if you want to learn how to DJ. So shout out to Denver DJ School. Make sure you guys check them out.
So who are the judges again? You said Chones is DJ or judging or no?
So Chones is gonna be a DJ. DJ Dynamic.
Chones is gonna be a judge.
Shake's not Shake no more. Everly, I meant.
Yes, yeah.
Shake,
Yep.
Everly.
Pause the Music from the Denver Nuggets is gonna be there.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, he was all sad that Coach Malone got fired. Anyway, let's not not get into that.
No, I think everybody
Or
was
we
sad that
can,
Post
'cause,
Malone got
like,
fired.
that's like,
Yeah, we can.
Well,
we
I just wanted, we can, but I just
wanted.
wanted to kind of finish up this portion of it, just so that we can kind of move forward. But again, shout out to all our sponsors. Without them, this wouldn't happen. I just wanted to say real quick, AG from the 303. Make sure you tell them a little bit about FAMBAM Productions and She Shalifa as well.
oh yeah, for sure. Well, since I'm on the spot and I'm trying to do some, BTS, everybody say what's up.
What up?
So my name's AG from the 303. I run FAMBAM Productions. FAMBAM stands for Family Building a Movement. If you look at the logo, we got a big C, the Colorado C. Everybody's familiar with it, with a speaker inside of it. It stands for Family Building a Movement. We're building community through music and art by utilizing each other's networks and building each other up. And that's the whole purpose of why I was expressing earlier, like the vindication of everybody working together.
Hit us with that
watching
that
shit.
Asian three-peat again.
Oh, participation is dedication, or is vindication of dedication.
That 3-piece.
Yes,
That three-piece. Whap, whap. Participation is vindication of dedication. And that's who I am in a nutshell, right? Is the idea of the community uplifting each other. We are stronger together when
Hell
we
yeah.
do things. We have the numbers, we have the resources. We just need to concentrate our focus on how we're developing ourselves and first looking to ourselves and relying on ourselves to be strong so we can be strong for our community.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Well, we as the community appreciate motherfuckers like you that are putting in, that are showing that dedication and to your syndication and vindications and all the shit. Because in reality, without you, none of this shit is happening this way.
As
And
I've
and Spoke, without you guys being this passionate about it, we don't get any cool shit. And I think that's if anybody is paying attention, that's thinking like, oh, I might want to go to something like that. Might want to do that shit.
Yeah, do it.
I might have wanted to go to that to the rap battles the last time, and I'll tell you that I won't miss one. Like,
And
seeing it in person, you're like, oh, this is top 3, dude.
And we always
Was
have
it like Kennedy or like Yoda or something? They're like, you either do or you don't. There is no
Yeah,
try.
there is no
yeah,
try.
that was Yoda, right? He was way better than
There is no
Kennedy.
tomorrow. But you know that we do have people after the show when they see the footage come out, stuff like that, that are like, oh man, I missed out. Like, this is your chance to not miss out. This is your chance
Yeah,
to make
Bradley.
sure you come see this, because this is going to be a movie.
B.
And real quick, just going back to AG is what's funny. What's funny is we have a little history together. We actually met each other. We worked at Doctor's Orders back in the day, and people used to confuse us all the time because people just are stoners and they feel
Well,
like
and
look
we
like
look
each
a
other.
lot alike.
Yeah,
Well, we do
same
look
barber.
alike. But one of the things is I call him my evil twin because he's a Raiders fan. I'm a Bronco fan, and he would be wearing I'd be wearing my Bronco hat, and somebody would come in and they'd be like, "What the hell? Like, I thought you were a Raider fan, homie." And I'm like, "No, that's Adrian, dog. Like, I'm not a fucking Adrian." Or people sometimes would come up to him and call him Spoke-In-Wordz, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's not me, dog." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was just kind of crazy
I was
because
at a food truck and
well, I feel like we do live in a
rap.
I feel like we do live in
Someone
a
came and wanted me to rap, and I was like, "Nah, I know who you're talking about, though."
I feel like we do live in a simulation though, because like his name is Adrian Garcia.
Yeah.
My name is Hector Garcia, and my brother's name is Adrian Garcia.
Yeah.
Like, it's the craziest thing, and we kind of look alike. I'm like, yo,
Is it crazy, or do the Garcias have a problem with naming their kids Adrian?
Yeah.
That's a thing. Because when I go into Mexico, I get detained. So somebody's doing some fucked up shit with my name.
You ain't the only Adrian Garcia.
Nah,
around
I'm like one of 17 trillion.
so yeah, man, we just want to make sure you guys don't miss out on this. We will have all kinds of cool treats for y'all and stuff, and so I'm really expecting y'all to come through and show some love. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, we're gonna have you guys are gonna be there.
Yeah, we'll be
All right,
there.
so we're obviously gonna have Lone Ranger gonna be there. They're gonna do the awesome thing of being able to interview all
A
the
little
DJs.
pre-show, get to know.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to interview DJ Paz about
There you go.
Malone.
There you go,
We're
man.
just going to talk about basketball.
man.
Take advantage.
We're taking this into a basketball podcast down there. You guys, you'll see new things that we're coming up with. And if you're not close enough, because I know some people here in the chat and that are probably watching, if you're not close enough to make it, share this stuff. Share it out on your pages. We're going to be having it on ours, and you can share it right from there. I'm sure we can get y'all's shit right on there. And if Erick or the producer could just like maybe throw a link in or something on the chat or somewhere so that anybody who's watching now knows where to take people and share that shit out, because the more people that know about this, the more people that are going to come. And I just want to thank y'all, like, again, for coming through. And I've realized as I've gotten older that as much as I need community in my world, it doesn't happen on its own. Not in this day and age. Maybe it happened before it was what the world is like now. But in this day and age, it doesn't happen on their own, and it takes folks like you to bring people together. And if y'all feel that, go share these posts. Come to the show and feel it, because the energy is next level. I haven't felt like this in a hip hop show, because like, cool, Freddie Gibbs can like keep his air when he raps up here, but it's not that great. But when I come here and watch this shit happen, it feels like hip hop felt when I was a teenager here.
Dope.
When it was special to have Wu-Tang
it felt
come
like a
through.
movie.
When it was special to have some of this shit that you only knew from MTV and from like things that you didn't get to experience with your own eyes. You always had to see it through a lens.
Yep.
And then this is the shit that it feels like that did when I was growing up in Denver, like getting into this scene and learning about the people, meeting y'all, and then I haven't been to a show like that in so long.
Dude, well, it's like I mean, you keep saying
it feels like hip hop.
You keep
right?
saying
like,
it in the idiom,
feel
right?
like a concert. There's
Like
difference between
nostalgic,
them.
like-
Well, and you keep saying it in that idiom, like, oh, it's gonna be a movie, because like that's the saying now. But in reality, like that's what it felt like both times. It feels like you're in the middle, and so it's like you ever watch a movie and they're doing some fresh ass, cool ass thing where you're like, man, how come nobody around me ever does anything like that?
Yep.
These are the motherfuckers around
And-
you
and those two
doing
movies-
that
those two
right
movies-
now, and it's hard as fuck. Don't like. I mean, the
April
rap one-
17th, mark your fucking calendar. Tune into the show before while you drive into Denver and come in and take an hour to find a parking space, and then get yourself to the show and watch this shit, because it's gonna be something you don't want to miss. And if you consider yourself somebody who, like, oh, you heard them talk about Nas and you're a hip hop head and you feel like this is you and you want to come experience, or you want to just be a part of this shit and see what it is, what hip hop is today, because this is, I think, the best we can get in terms of what hip hop is, and
like
bringing it
grassroots
together as a
hip-hop in a sense
culture
like that, the
of
culture
like
of hip-hop.
like you said, like this is big enough where they don't invite fucking dancers. When y'all hear them say b-boys and b-girls, they didn't invite these dancers to come and fucking look cool in the crowd. It just happens because this is where that shit is grown, right? Is in these spaces, and you can come see what that's like. Young people, old people. I don't know. Is there an age limit on this?
18 and up, which is
18 and
awesome
up.
too, because last time it was 21 and up, and I feel like we lost a little bit of demographic there, but it's 18 and up, so you make sure you can bring y'all kids too.
And what's crazy about the whole thing is it's like, to your point, it's hip hop on display. And so it was a whirlwind last year, right? And I was really taken back, and I had a couple of seconds to just sit back and watch and look and just like take it all in. And it was like, to me, I don't know how it was for you, but to me, it was like 8 Mile on steroids.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like the dope, like pit feeling of 8 Mile and the actual battle, the actual like old school hip hop over beats straight off the top, like that mixed in with full production. Right?
Full.
Lights, freaking on cue, on point, like doing things, interacting with the
Fucking
crowd,
famous
logos and
DJs
fucking
and,
shit
like,
on the
legends
sides,
there.
and like
oh,
you know what I
well-
mean? So like things that didn't exist for hip hop and for those spaces back in the day, being able to bring something like that and have the quality of the show mixed with the quality of production, mixed with the quality of the crowd, and just all of it coming together the way that it did, like, that brought joy to me.
Yeah, at some point, me and Adrian looked at each other and we were like, we just did that.
Oh yeah.
Hell
we
yeah.
just did that.
And with that,
What
Eric, hit that fucking Guy Spencer music. Fuck, producer, hit that Guy Spencer music. Hell yeah. Turn it down. That's too loud because I'm going to be telling a story.
In the corner with the brew,
It's
Guy
not a
Spencer
story.
breaks it
But
down with the sip and the tip.
y'all
Big
got beer in
talks all
front of you.
around
Go
from the
ahead and
cap
crack
to
it
the
open
kid.
now. I know you've been itching to
Every
get to
style,
it.
every brand.
I was waiting to crack
He's
it.
the
Thank
beer
you. I
man
had
in
to-
command.
I had to-
He had to do
Lazy
something
bass with the
today.
fan.
Put me in check.
I
Guy
like reached over and was
Spencer
like,
being
I will
cornered
pull your
with the
card, AG. I will pull your card, brother.
I'm like
You're outta here.
what I do? I just wanted a beer.
Hey, I didn't realize it had Lil Jon on it.
Hold on. I got to do something before we Well,
like,
so let me
"Hey,
ask you a
cabrón."
question. Let me ask you a question.
He's like, "Hey,
do y'all
put
know
your-
what? Do you know what the term tough neck means? Or sorry, roughneck. Do you know what the term roughneck means?
Shout out to John.
No.
No, this is not a term y'all are
I
familiar.
mean, I've
with?
heard it, but I don't
I've
know
heard of
exactly what it
redneck,
means.
and I know where that comes from.
No, that's not that. This is a different thing.
That's one of the it comes from the Rough Riders original fucking one of the Roosevelts. I always get them confused. No.
Not in the way I'm
Not-
familiar
oh,
with the
they're-
term. Gosh,
okay.
y'all are making this more complicated than it is. As far as I
I
know,
thought it was a redneck thing.
it kind of is. As far as I know, that's what you might call somebody who works in the oil fields is a roughneck. That was what
gotcha.
they might identify as in themselves in those spaces. And I have a cousin that would have identified as that for a while, and it comes down to just like if you've ever met somebody who works in the oil fields like out east in Colorado.
Yeah.
Like these are, I love the politics aside, they're great people to get along with. But the thing is, they can fucking fix anything. And if you need something fixed, you should hit up my buddy John Staff at Tough Neck Handyman.
Okay.
Let's
The
go.
sponsor for
Okay.
today's beer.
Tough
Nice.
neck.
Coming through for us. And so honestly, he does all the work in my house, and my house needs work. And he just did a big project for me underneath the house because I won't go down there because there's fucking black widows and shit.
Orale, spider.
Yeah. They got the poison down in my fucking crawl space, and I'm not going down there. That's what I pay John to go do. Tough Neck Handyman,
the sucker
sponsoring
that does the spider.
today.
Hey, shout out to Tough
that
Neck,
does
yo.
Shout out to Tough
Shout out to
Neck.
Tough Neck.
Because
Tough Neck Handyman.
A rep is what you're looking for.
yeah.
I'm the man you want.
I'm the one you want. Tres puntos.
Mira, 3 puntos like spider.
And so because of so thank you for John for believing in us and
you,
building your
John.
business as well. But today we have a little beer from Outer Range, which I don't know. Somebody look at the side of the can. Is it Frisco that they're from?
They're actually, I'm not too sure where they're from, but I've had them. I had like 10 cases of
Yeah,
that shit
Frisco.
gifted to me, and it's delicious.
It's great
Maybe
fucking beer. They make really
you've
good
had it?
shit.
You had? Word.
It's really good beer.
And so when I came through and all I saw on the label was John Wayne, because if you turn the, you see the label in there, you
He's
just,
John
when it's
Wayne.
turned one way. And I was like, hey, at least that picture fits the podcast pretty well. But then I turned it a little bit more because I saw there was a picture and then I was like, Lil Wayne and John Wayne?
That's fire,
sold.
bro. That's
Then I
fire.
turned it some
Just a
more and
bunch
saw
of
that it was Lil
Chicanos.
John.
Lil John Wayne.
Lil Wayne
Chicanos.
and Lil John Wayne.
That's
For the
awesome.
old pacha, you Chicanos.
Lil John, Lil
You
Wayne,
made me look like a
and
cholo.
Lil John Wayne. That's dope.
That's awesome. Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Fucking-
Yeah,
everybody.
crack that one open. We'll see how
Oh
it tastes.
shit! Sorry.
It's okay.
John Wayne.
Hell yeah.
Hell,
Thanks
yeah.
for the beer, fellas.
Cheers,
Cheers.
cheers. Yeah.
Salud.
Thanks to
So
John
so
Staff at Tough
a
Neck.
little anecdote. Redneck. Do y'all know where that term comes from? Like why it exists?
I mean, I have a biased opinion of that because I can sometimes be a redneck in the fact that I'm very prone to sunburns, and especially on the back of my neck. But I don't know.
My
if
neck,
I
my
think,
neck get black. The actual
Just
term
red for me.
The actual term comes from back in the day during the construction of the railroads in the Appalachian Mountains. They obviously ownership class and worker class, and the way that the worker class decided to band together because they were fucking dying in mass rates, falling off fucking mountains and shit for building railroads and people just dying on a regular basis. They decided to revolt, and the way they identified themselves between each other and the people that were down for their shit was by taking a red bandana and turning it around and having him on the back of their neck. And so that's where the term redneck actually came from.
Oh wait, so you said miners?
railroad.
Railroad workers,
Like, there's, like, the
people
railroad
in the
union
Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
Like when
That's hard.
Yeah, so really where it comes from, it's not necessarily a derogatory term. It's a term of revolt and revolution, and that's for the workers. And so like that's during the same time frame around like when Ludlow massacre and all of these like these revolts, workers' rights revolts were happening in the United States. A lot of them of which were happening in Colorado.
That's right. The Ludlow massacre. My family was actually there.
That's insane.
My great grandfather was there during the massacre, and that's what brought them to Raton.
Because he was running?
Huh? Running.
You're either You either survived or you were
You were running or you were a part of it. So which one?
you were either.
I mean,
you either died or you were the conductor.
That's not true.
I don't know nothing about the Ludlow massacre, but it's fun.
So
do you know what I know about
the story on here.
You know what I really know about the Ludlow massacre? You might have, and I might.
I know what you know about it. That there's a sign on I-25 on your way to fucking Raton or to Maxwell that you see. Oh, I should go there sometime. It's a sign you always say, like I should stop sometime and never do. Right off the highway, it is because Ludlow is now a ghost town after the massacre and. Maybe we'll do like a after show story about this so that I can tell the whole story because it's too long to tell. But like you were saying, this was actually a historic event for unions, which didn't spawn the best union thing, but it spawned unions in a big way. Not the best because it ends up spawning like the first company sponsored labor union from a mine, which like company sponsored union obviously has a little bit of an issue, but it was one of the first like organized unions that didn't just exist in one place, that was extended beyond that so that they could fight for their rights as workers. And Ludlow never became anything because it is still a ghost town since I think the massacre happens in 1913, I think is about the right time, maybe 17. I'm not great on the dates, but a transitional time because what happens there is the Colorado governor ends up sending down the Colorado National Guard to go kill all these miners because they were striking against the working conditions that were happening with all these mines. And this is happening is why we had Golden as a fucking capital at first. This was a mining built place. Why you have all the Italians in the fucking front range is because the mob brought in all the labor for these mines through Mexico. Not Ellis Island, where you think a lot of Italians come from New York. Usually, if you're from Colorado and your family's been here for a while, a few generations as an Italian like mine, is because you came from Mexico, where they brought you up as labor for the fucking mines. And somehow my family was at Ludlow, but not in the mines. Not one of the miners. They ran a fucking liquor store there.
And so what you had,
they're the instigators.
but what you had,
they're probably just a little bit more better mobbed up than others. Honestly,
better mobbed
probably
up,
like
that's during
real
like
thing.
the time frame and when you a little bit later when they started it with the distinction of what it means and the creation of what it means to be white.
Yeah.
And what it means to not be
Because
white.
then they were not white.
Like Italians, Greeks, all them
Irish.
They were Irish. They were not considered white.
Yeah.
And so like when I express to people, I'm like, yo, if you really want to get into the nitty gritty and you want to know like where the Germans and where Hitler got their eugenics program, and you want to know like how a lot of this fucking like sterilization, like and these concepts and where they were all created here. Everybody got their fucked up nasty ass shit from here.
Yeah.
And so when this was happening, you have the ownership class and you have the worker class that are starting to band together, right? And they're starting to like be like, yo, these working conditions fucking suck. We may not understand each other language wise, but we understand that we're getting fucked. And so when you come down and they're like the worker class, or excuse me, the ownership class sees that, they come down and they're like, okay, well now you're white and you're white. You're like us, but you're now going to police these people. And that's where the actual police came from. First from chasing slaves and then evolved into that.
Like
the separation of races, the idea, the social construct of race. That's where that was created here. And that was created here in a sense of to segregate and separate people that were in the same fucked up situation, that were banding together, and now they give somebody a little bit of power. Kind of like what was that? Not Princeton, the Harvard experiment. When they sent a bunch of people in, and some of them were prisoners and some of them were guards, and they barely lasted like fucking 72 hours before people started doing some crazy asshole fucked up shit to each other.
Hey, life's a risk, carnal.
Hey.
Yeah, 1312.
Where there's war, there's opportunity.
That's right. That's right. So hold on, we got to talk about the beer.
What we got to do is wake on up.
This one.
That was the next part of my line, and you said what we have to do.
John Wayne, we got to wake little John Wayne up.
Little John Wayne. What do y'all think of the beer from out of range
This
up
shit is
in
fire.
I like it.
You
Great.
like this, Justin?
Yeah, I ain't mad at this at all. It's got your typical IPA taste, but then it's got
It's
like
so smooth on the
it's
finish,
got,
right?
Well, it's got like sweet notes to it that aren't like, oh, you made this beer gross by making it sweet.
Right.
So it's like, oh, like this is what I want a sweet beer to taste like. Like, okay, like it's beer, it's bomb, and then it's got like these little hints of sweet on the end, and it's not this thing that makes me feel like I'm gonna get a headache.
It's got a nice little aftertaste too. I've noticed.
I just
They
jumped
make
back
good
on the
beer.
wagon
They
because
make
of it.
really good beer out of Frisco, and you can find this. You're not going to find this at your corner store liquor store. You're not going to find it at probably any place that sells cartons of cigarettes.
Where I'm sorry, where can you get it again?
Probably any place that sells cartons.
That doesn't.
doesn't
Any
sell
liquor
them.
store that
anywhere that doesn't. Oh, okay.
doesn't sell. You're not going to
Got
find
it.
it there. But if you go to a liquor store that, a place that don't even have cigarettes, kind of level liquor store, you'll probably find out a range.
If they got a cigar room, you're in the right place.
Yeah. If you get carded at the door, you might be in the right place. Just kidding. Nobody's doing that anymore.
Para mi jefito.
I'm gonna guess it's more blood in, blood out references. If you
Nobody
can
ever goes to
confirm
town
this
hall.
in the chat,
Except for to pay fines or bail somebody out.
I think we should do a reading of Blood In, Blood Out with you guys, like as a side project.
it's
Just
one
you
of those-
two
I know,
doing
right?
every
Just doing-
character
Bro,
like
yeah.
on your own, back and forth. Every scene, you just pick a character. We'll do it as you got to subscribe to the Patreon for the Blood In, Blood Out reenactment.
Yeah. Well, dude, you were talking about it earlier about how it's like you're like it's a 3-hour movie, but it doesn't feel like that. Well, because I've seen it so many times, and I'm like, I feel the exact same fucking way.
We
know
can
everything
tell.
about
We
it.
can tell.
I know
feel like I'm
every
done
scene.
watching it.
AG, right? Like you can
minutes.
tell. I don't know if you knew this about them. I knew they both loved it. I did not know that it was their religion.
Oh,
That they
dude.
put it on every
extensive.
Sunday morning and like pray. They get down and fucking 5 times a day and watch fucking Blood In, Blood Out and pray to
Dude,
Blood In, Blood
in my
Out.
mind,
Pray to
the
Onda.
scenes from the beginning of the movie all the way until Miklo get taken to prison is like 15 minutes in my mind. And
Yeah.
it's like an hour
Yeah.
long. It's like an
Yeah.
hour. That's like
Yeah.
its own movie.
Yep.
And nowadays, that would
Yep.
be the end of the movie, and then there'd be another one where he went into prison, and right before the war breakdown, there'd be another one after. Like they would split it into 3. It would be like a 3-part series, and instead we had this really cool movie that.
I feel like for me, it's like the whole thing just goes by so quick that I'm just kind of like, how did I just go through 3 hours just watching that? Like, and why have I watched this so many times?
I have not gotten enough laundry done for 3 hours of time.
No tortilla, eh?
Sorry, no tortillas.
That fool just died. The actor who played Big Al.
Yeah.
R.I.P. That guy.
R.I.P. Yeah.
He died in like
Classic.
the last 6 months.
Classic.
Wasn't it Val Kilmer just died too?
Val Kilmer just died.
just
R.I.P.
died.
Val
A lot of people
Kilmer.
are passing, man. It's sad.
Yeah, that'll
That's
happen.
Batman right there, bro.
Let me ask you all another question. Are either of you two? I already asked Justin this. I haven't.
No, we're
asked
not
the
related.
producer.
Who knows? In a simulation, we are.
Yeah, I think y'all might be, and maybe in this term, you also might be related. This is the exact kind of shit that we might see from what this term describes. So have you ever heard of the term slop chain?
That sounds naughty.
Okay, it's not. Well, yes, depends on your perspective, and it might
Baby,
be.
go
Actually,
get my slop chain.
Actually, we're gonna. How about AG? You ever heard this term? This is not something y'all have. Producer, have you heard this term? You're the probably most. Really? I thought you'd be privy to this because it's come up a little bit in some stuff that I engage with, just like a little bit as like a reference, never really explained. And y'all might be familiar with the YouTube channel called Donut. Yeah, you know what? No, y'all don't know Donut?
Yeah, no.
No use in explaining it, but one of the people who used to work there now has his own channel, and he's started talking about this, and he kind of explained the term slop chain, where I've heard it before, but I've never heard it really explained. And it's the part of AI that is I don't want to say ruining, but I will say it is making the internet incredibly hard. Because one thing you might kind of have experienced over the last maybe 6 months or so, maybe year, if you're pretty internet tapped in, is this feeling of kind of like chaos on the internet where everything is like untrustworthy. You don't know really kind of where things are coming from. You see all kinds of shit in your feeds and like in your algorithm where it's like kind of the same, but kind of it's a little different, and especially with news and
Little weird mouth moving, but you don't know if it's really
stuff.
them
Yeah,
or
stuff like this, but it's
AI.
talking about stuff that sounds really relevant and real. that it is like just real enough, but you can tell it's AI, but you can also tell it's like real enough that it's like very like intentionally done. And a great example that is brought up on this YouTube channel is like, these are car guys. It's like a car channel, right? About like old cars, new cars, fixing cars, that kind of just like car shit, right? And like my 13-year-old knows about Donut. Like, it's a hip channel, and the people that were on it that started their own channels are pretty hip too. And so they show this example of like, I've seen it in my feeds. Anybody car guys here that you get car content in your algorithm?
Forerunner stuff.
Nah,
Mine's
yeah.
all very specific.
Fucking Colorado ass. What about you guys? No car content? Nope. All right. Well, you'll see
I
like,
got a friend that runs a thing called G-Club, and
y'all need
so
to
he's
fucking
big into
dislike
G.
shit. You can control your
see ass and
algorithm. You
titties.
can
I know,
tell
I
it.
do.
Get
It's
rid of
Forerunners.
this.
My algorithm is Forerunner shit and blood and blood out memes. That's it. That's how I get my news.
So like
I know
a
a
good
bunch of girls
example
doing
is like
CrossFit.
these AI generated kind of like car images, right? Where it's like a still car, it like rotates around, but it's like the 2025 Model T remake, and it looks like a Model T shined up to something that you can see some interior pictures where it has like a Bluetooth dash and shit like that, right? And they don't look real, but they don't look fake enough. And then you go to these channels, and there's thousands of channels with hundreds of videos that are just these fucking fucking built AI shit of 100 of these videos of the Model T in 2025, but all different colors, and they're all like AI generated voice scripts, but like the voice scripts are so good they're laughing and giggling at like themselves tripping over the words, and it's very advanced in terms of, it's not just like plug it in and let it fly. Like, it's pretty designed, but it's hundreds of videos, and they end up categorizing just the car videos at like,
Hey, that's a fucking fine phone you got.
33,000 different channels with thousands of videos on each of these channels, producing all of this fucking slop. And so this is the example that sounds pretty innocent, right? Like, it just sounds like this fucking bombardment of the internet on YouTube. But then what's happening in a more scary space is this is happening with this same kind of, what is so fucking funny, bud? Like, what are you over there giggling about? Like, did he tickle you? Fucking A.
I don't know.
But give it to one of my bitches.
I told y'all the reenactment of Blood In, Blood Out is for the Patreon, not here. Jesus Christ.
This fucking guy pulled a comb out.
Not in public.
It's a fucking fine comb you got. Might give it to one of my bitches.
See, y'all could have just stopped me for that bit.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I didn't mean for it to be so perfect, but then he's laughing too, and I'm like, oh man, that was a hit. It was a good time.
And Adrian's over here like listening and engaged, and he's like, hold on, what? I can see the wheels turning.
You got
and
mad at us, and Adrian found out.
I know.
Adrian turned and was like, what?
You got Red Cross big dick back
Y'all
there,
are the
and then I
fucking
got-
bad kids in the class in the back of the room where he's in the front seat, fucking fully engaged.
Michael Choi. Oh, you don't know that reference? Reservoir Dogs.
See, we can't do the same things that we do. I don't do movies. Like, I don't watch them religiously like these two.
You gotta do movie. That's all.
No, hold on. I'm into this though. I'm into this because I'm trying to understand what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, do you all
AI stupid shit.
are you all following me?
So
at
slop
least
chain
in the-
is
in the
AI
slop one?
regurgitated like the same formulaic thing over and over.
And
like
so
that.
and
It
so
floods.
here's the problem.
Okay.
Here's why the internet, where you might feel like the internet feels a little bit more chaotic than it has ever felt, because it's not just happening in these thousands of channels with thousands of videos on them. It is now happening with news articles. Still?
I know, right?
Put the comb away, bud.
It's like being in church now. Now I'm just trying not to, because I am engaged. That's the funniest part. Is I'm listening and I'm telling my brain like I really am
Y'all are gonna
interested,
get
but I cannot
reprimanded.
stop thinking about the comb.
I'm
Sorry.
gonna pull your card. I'm gonna pull your card. You're cruising
Fuck,
to a
I'm
red
grounded.
card, bud. You're cruising to a red card.
Okay. All right.
And so all this news cycle shit where they aren't always that accurate, but it's always very like in the trendiness of all the news you're hearing about. But then I'm sure you all have experienced news stories in your feeds and stuff where you kind of hear about it, but then it just kind of disappears and you don't hear about it on any like bigger sources, but you saw it in your feed where it's like 60% of people disagree with Trump's left hand, and you're like, well, yeah, 60% of people disagree with Trump. Okay, yeah, whatever, and keep going. And then you see something that's kind of like that, and then a week later, nothing else is like that because it's on to some other thing. And so this is happening where these are AI generated articles where I know that our producer's smart enough that if he put himself down to it, he could produce 10,000 different versions of the same article with 100 different fucking accounts produced by AI, that AI is going in and posting this shit out on every fucking channel that it can. And then here's the issue. Here's the big issue is that these fucking AI bots are also writing scientific papers that are getting posted on the internet and then being fake AI reviewed by fake AI peers, which then fucking take that fake AI bullshit. And maybe it's not fake, but it's generated in the algorithm of what the AI is, which is not like a free thinking anything. It is a controlled fucking entity that is then creating all
At the
this
very
slop.
least, it's a limited amount of data too.
But
Yes.
let me ask you this though: is that not exactly like the
internet?
structure? Not the internet. The structure of the peer review process.
Well,
like it's the
but the
exact
peer
same thing.
review
Except
process-
but the peer review process is flawed and limited and subject to people spending 10, 12, 20,
But the key
30
there that you
years
said,
of
though,
fucking research
AG,
on
the key
shit
you said
that
is
are
that
gonna
it's
alter shit.
It's
Like,
limited though, because a peer review process was previously done by very high level professionals. That's the limited version, of it,
Right,
which
but-
can create like a vacuum of information. But when you have AI,
but not only
creating stuff that-
information, but of falsehoods. Because
yes.
if you have somebody that's spending 20
So-
years of their lives on a project and they find that shit is bullshit, but yet they don't want that to be the case because they spent so
Yes.
much time. That happens
Yes.
on a
Yeah.
regular fucking basis.
But for what
And
it's
so
worth-
like peer review, the whole process itself is, and going back to what you're saying, is
broken.
and
Yeah.
and what you're describing is not only highlighting it, but it's
Accelerating it.
exactly.
It's
Okay,
accelerating
but
it.
hold on.
That is the
But let me-
chain.
but let me make
because
this-
eventually, let me just wrap it up
Okay, go
here.
ahead.
That all this is created. They start referencing new shit, references in the fucking this is true. They're referencing the bullshit that was created from these entities.
Okay.
And then eventually it comes around to a full chain of connection of all this bullshit just going in a circle that is now what we know as the slop chain.
Well, so here's the thing.
That's what the slop chain.
So here's
I was going to bring it home. You got to let me bring it home,
All right,
man.
sorry.
But let me
But I love-
here's one thing about the peer review process, because I completely agree that the peer review process is inherently flawed because humans are inherently flawed,
Yep.
and it is a process relying on humans. But the peer review process,
Are you a slop chain apologist, bud?
no, I'm talking about peer review. The peer review process in its full function always, or at least have proven to always over time, remove any falsehoods that made it through. So you can only falsify your results so long before your peers also find the things.
Well, and
one of the
no,
really
you're shaking
hold on,
your
but-
head.
but one of the-
There's
one of the
no
really good-
answer.
good experience.
one really good example of that, though, is that like Einstein, before Einstein died, he had a theory. And after he wrote the paper and put it up for peer review, everybody essentially told him that was wrong and that it wasn't real. And he conceded, and that he even said that I didn't really like that one anyways.
And then what happened?
Continuing on in the peer review process, the more people that got a hold of it, all of a sudden you had people that are able to repeat the process.
But what you have in Einstein and what I consider to be the exception and not the rule is going to what you said earlier. it's flawed because humans are flawed.
Sure.
Let's expand upon that. And like I was telling you, when you have somebody that's worked on something like a lot of these professors and a lot of these researchers and a lot of these institutions for multiple decades, and they find out everything that they fucking put into it, all the money, all the time, all the sweat, all the effort was all bullshit because their fucking hypothesis was either inconclusive or not true.
Yeah.
They fold. They want their shit to fucking go through. They want the money that's going to come and result from it. They want all this shit. And so, like, because humans are flawed and the nature of human beings are as such, that to me is not only the basis, but the quintessential part of taking everything that all the information that you take in with a grain of salt. You have to. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. It doesn't matter if it's peer reviewed. It doesn't matter. But then where do you trust? Who do you trust? What do you trust? You have fucking shit that's and are we then it comes down to, are we a product of our own environment? Are we a product of what we decide to be? And then are we do we make our own choices?
Yeah. Well, it's gotten to the point. It's gotten to the point where I can't even
That's
trust.
always a tough one.
Like for the longest time, I can't even trust the main news stations that I used to listen to, like CNN and things like that. Like I'm like, I don't.
You should have never trusted them. You should have never trusted them.
Well, I mean,
and that's the thing.
Shouldas. I think even the way you're talking, I think that's a minority of the population that thinks, and I think there's the section that doesn't give a fuck about like validity of sources. Then there's a section that does, but still doesn't know how, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like,
that's
they're
important.
like, no, I look at my shit. But then
Yes.
there is a section of the population that I think, it sounds like some of us are in that go the extra mile to try and find the validity in the source. Because I don't think you can assume anymore, because like I listen to Up First NPR every day. Every day I love to listen to it, but I know that there is a fucking heavy grain of salt across NPR.
Bias as fuck.
Like just listen to them talk about fucking Gaza, Israel, or any of this stuff. Which
real
like
quick, do
bleep
you
all
think-
that out. Bleep all that out.
Do you think that it got that bad though? Specifically NPR. Do you think it got that bad because of COVID, or do you think it was like that before that? Because I feel like before COVID,
did fuck a lot of shit
I
up.
always really liked that it felt a lot more
Open.
more nuanced at the very least. Like they were like they would.
I
talk
think
about
that's your
something
awareness. I don't
everybody
think that
just
was
got
NPR
scared.
changing. I think
think
that
it-
was your awareness of what's going on changing. NPR has always been like that.
NPR has been like,
I mean, at least our
straight
lifetime of
blue
NPR.
dog fucking like
Yeah, blue dog Democrat.
dem, like,
I think everybody got
Lib,
scared.
establishment,
neo-lib, like
I just think everybody got scared during that
and
time.
it's fine. Like
went with the
neolibs
narrative.
can give good information, just like neocons can give information. But if you try and take their opinions on some of this shit, and if you can't expand out, like if you're listening to anything international from any of these companies and you're not checking it with Al Jazeera and seeing what Al Jazeera is fucking on, then you're probably not getting the full story. Right, like, and it doesn't matter where you get it. If it's from America, it's real.
Well, also,
I look, and it's tough to
if it's
find
from
good,
America, it's like it's
unbiased
from
news.
Russia.
Also, if you're not knowledged on all this stuff, like, and you don't do your own research, the easiest thing to do is to go with the narrative. And these biggest channels are going to go with the
Well, and they
narrative.
know that, and they put sub narratives in that trick these people, like I said, that are in that second group that are like, I check my sources, but they don't really know how they're checking their sources, as in like they think they trust.
They Googled it and there was four more
right?
articles
It's a
that said the
very
same thing. So they're like, oh, everyone
internet
said this.
then it
age.
goes back to but
'Cause,
then
like-
it goes back to how, again, what like the basis of the conversation is, how do you know to trust what you're looking at? And so like, yeah, you got that second group, which is the same as that other group you're talking about, because we can go and we can do all the research and we can fucking dig and dig and dig, and then we just end up in a motherfucking rabbit hole, because then that shit reveals more shit, and then how do I know
And so
that
you got
shit
to
is
start
true?
getting the
And so-
skill to be better than having to research every point, right? You have to
But
start
it's
a skill I know I've developed of being able to not look at shit from like specific instances and be able to say, what's my value here? Where is the like morals in this shit? And then you can,
that's
if you can pull them.
subjective.
Well,
That's
yeah,
so-
but
that's
that's all we
subject- that's
have.
subjective.
But
To
I
come
was
back to
gonna
that.
argue, is the truth subjective?
Because people who believe in God
Isn't the truth-
truly believe that
Isn't the
God
truth
is
by
the truth.
isn't the truth that by definition subjective?
There's three sides to every story: your side, my side, and the truth. And the truth is a mixture of between both of us,
Which
And
means
so-
that it's not real.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, is it a real thing,
I
or
believe-
is it another
I believe-
perspective?
I believe
and is another
truth-
perspective just if we're all standing here and we stand in a circle, we all watch the same thing, we all see the same thing from different points of view, and that makes all of our stories either true or untrue, no matter how we end up
question,
feeling.
though. That's
Well,
a way deeper question.
But see,
like-
that's
That's
why I
what we
think,
do here.
That's why I think, right? That's why, like, so when you're saying that it's subjective about like discerning the morality of what you're looking at and the truth that you're looking for, it is essentially like, what is the truth? We would love to be able to say like, oh yeah, just hit blank, and that is the absolute truth. But in reality, it has a huge, like, what I tell Steve is a source may not be a source for you.
And
you know what I mean?
Is it truth if you're lying but you don't know it and it's true to you? If you have a fact that you believe in
I
your
think so.
head to be true,
I think
and you're
so.
spitting that fact, and like so many other people are backing you up on that fact, and you're spitting it, and it's in fact a lie.
Yeah.
Is that
But if enough
truth?
people believe the lie,
I don't know.
so? Then it goes to the deeper question, like, is there a universal truth?
Yeah,
and
I
so and that's even bigger, because then that means, is there a universal beauty?
Well, probably not.
Are these concepts, do they exist? If they exist universally, then they exist without us, without the existence of human beings.
Oh.
And so, like, if we're talking about like actual concepts in existence, if there's a universal truth that exists without us existing, then truth is real. But if truth is based on and subjective and based off of us creating it, then and my truth, your truth,
But isn't
whatever.
it? But hold on. So let me. I totally feel you. But tell me, is it not both? Right. So is there not a universal truth that is universally true that would have to be universally true with or without us?
give me an example.
hold on.
Give me an
Right here, I
example.
got one. I got
All
one.
right.
I got
Well,
one. I got
could
one.
a universal
that's-
truth.
okay.
I got one.
A universal truth right now is that the star in the center of our solar system is on fire, or maybe not on fire, but it's emitting light.
That's not a universal truth, because we don't know that that's the center of our solar system. We don't know
It is.
what that
Solar system, it
is.
is.
No,
Well,
we
we're
do not.
all right with the information
not.
we have. With the information we have pretty hard evidence to be able to conclude that.
Have you
In any
ever
case-
have you
in
hold on?
any
Have
case-
you ever been
all right.
out there?
Well,
Have you ever been outside and have you
So
seen
check
it?
this out.
Again,
I mean, I'll
going-
tell you, if I take two more hits
going
of this
to
motherfucker,
trust,
I might be.
going to what we trust.
So
as
this is
to
the
be
point I
true.
was making anyways, and you're doing it in a different way, which is awesome. Because the point I was going to make was that there is a subjective truth then too. So that if the truth is based off of the universe, there is a universal truth, but there's going to be another truth in which I smack Spoke in the arm, and now he has to process what my intentions were when I did it, and what my intentions are the truth, but of that action, but it's also subjective to my thought process in the time of that truth of me. So you can say that, like, and in that he's absorbing the truth. So obviously he doesn't.
But
He's not seeing something other than I'm seeing, because my
you're
truth is
calling-
that I'm trying to make a point.
But you're
he
calling
could
the
see it
truth-
as,
you're
like, hey,
calling
why
the
are you
truth
hitting
in
me, bro? Like,
action.
stop doing that. And there's a balance there, and isn't that part of the subjective truth in that sense? So universally, we may exist here, we're breathing. Again, maybe that's hypothetical, but even in that hypothetical, now my experience is now creating this truth around me that we're all in this room breathing, which should be a universal truth.
I feel like you're using.
Does that make sense?
I feel like yes, but I feel like you're using the word truth as a synonym for reality, and so
Well, I was going to ask if they were the same thing.
I don't think so.
Me either.
Because the way you perceive things and the way you interact with your environment and through your own life experience, your true, like, real life experiences, is how you're going to perceive your reality. And so it's not necessarily the truth, but it's true to you. Right? It's true to you. And so, like, somebody that we can go in like somebody that was assaulted or somebody that has like a bias against a certain race because something happened to them by that race. That's their truth, right? Because of their life and lived experience. Doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it right. It doesn't really fucking matter. That's not the issue. That's just what they're experiencing as their truth. Okay.
Sure.
Now, if there's a universal idea and concept of like an example of that would be a universal truth is that slavery is wrong today, tomorrow, and forever. Okay. So that could be the idea and a concept of a universal truth. Slavery is wrong here and now, forever. This where we're at right now.
But wouldn't wrong and right also be subjective?
Absolutely. And so like that's where moral compass and all these things come into play, and that's where a lot of people think that the entire reason that God exists is because we created God in order to live up to something, to a potential, a omnipotent being that is perfect in every way. And so now we have something to try to strive to live to that that we know and necessarily know that we will fall short of.
But most people, go ahead.
I was gonna say with that said though, just I was thinking this is that obviously we can't be married to our thoughts and opinions regardless, because when we believe in something and that ends up being false and that's proven to be false, now you look stupid.
But how many people dig their heels in even when it is proven to be false, and even when it is stupid as fuck, but people just fucking are stubborn.
Well, that's
dig, but that's a lot like the majority of people, because they don't want to change.
So then I would argue then that by that definition, slavery would be a subjective truth that we all agree upon subjectively, because I'm sure there are people in this world
that are slavery's great.
Yeah, let alone universally, that are like, nah, I don't know if you know the guy down the street. And so it's like there's a whole different way, and I'm not saying that those people are morally right. I think they're morally wrong. But my truth is my subjective. So then I would say, well, then are we confusing universal truth with the observable truth?
So that your perception, your perception is your reality, and your perception is also your truth. But those two words are not synonyms.
So what I would say then what you're arguing about truth, and I totally agree in that sense, is that a universal truth is almost like you can't prove it, in a sense. Like it ends up being subjective no matter what. So the universal truth itself is something that instead it's like, okay, there are some universal truths, and they may fall within our observable truth, so they may or may not be, but the observable truth is not synonymous or the same thing as universal truth in itself. No,
it's like, but it's like if a tree falls down in the woods and ain't nobody there to hear it, doesn't make a sound.
Hell yeah, I mean,
like the whole thing. Well, if nothing,
I don't know.
It's perception.
I hear you exactly.
Like your perception of your reality.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just talking shit.
I got you. And so like if there's nothing or nobody there to perceive it doesn't really happen, and what proof do we have that things actually happen if there's no? So like, let me ask you this: does math exist without us?
Yes, I would say yes.
How do you know?
I would say that math is not invented; it's just a label of discovery. So it's not like, that's like saying
it's numbers.
That's like saying because I named this thing a bush.
Numbers are invented.
It'd be like the bushes exist before I named them. Like it's kind of like that idea. And it's like, well, they existed, but just because you didn't have the label for it.
But
I think
it's not really a bush.
Well, I think math.
And so like a bird is not bird is not really a bird. A bee is not really a bee. These are all things that we and
named.
This is coming from KRS.
Correct.
These are all things that we
created the names for them.
But like and that would be an example of universal truth that you believe in, that math exists without us. And so therefore that's a universal truth.
Yeah.
But the idea and the concept of like, okay, let's take like multi-dimensional ideas and like M theory and the idea that there's parallel universes and everything exists and will exist and everything that could happen will happen or has happened. And so therefore, if that's the idea, then 2 + 2 is not always 4.
Yeah.
At some point in this it is.
Yes.
But if we're talking about like multi-dimensional shit,
Yeah, well, that's because technically in a different dimension, it's not that
It's
1 +
different
1
rules.
the physics would be different. And if the physics are different, that's what math is. Math is the label to understand the physics that are going.
But how do we know it's even math? How do we know it's not your glands of sweat?
It's not about that it's math. I hear what you're saying, but I think that like if we're a different race, right, or a race of beings in like another alien race somewhere, right? We're on a different planet, and we all collectively have created a society to where all of our knowledge can all come together and we can build off of it and we start to really progress. I think they will come up with something, whether it's like math or not, it will hold the same purpose, right? It will still label. Now, it may not be the exact equations. Maybe they use rather than by 10s, they're running by 8s.
But going to your point earlier
they're
when you
able
were
to do
hitting
some
Spoke.
stuff we can't, or some stuff that we aren't able to do. You just see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but when you were hitting Spoke,
Why is everybody hitting me?
like, okay, so this is the idea of like the multi-dimension, right? I either do it
Y'all know.
or I don't.
Because y'all know that I'm over here just cooking. That's why nobody's hitting me, because you bring me in. I'm ready to drop some knowledge.
You hit
on
us
y'all. I'm
ever.
just waiting.
Well,
y'all.
well,
We're just
I'm
talking
just waiting
shit.
for y'all to finish.
I want to hear that thought finish. I want to hear that thought finish.
I'm gonna finish it up. I'm gonna wrap it up, and I'm gonna go,
Bet.
to the little ladies' room.
I really
so
fucked
like,
with this conversation.
So like,
Me too. I'm so glad it's still happening, so I can fucking put my piece in.
I'll do this
While
shit for
y'all
like the next
fucking-
5 hours.
You're
But,
gonna
I
miss
hit
it.
him. I hit him. That was a choice. But in another dimension, I didn't. In another dimension,
got into some
I got
Doctor
up and
Strange
I
thing.
went to the bathroom instead of like, and so it's
Yeah.
an infinite amount of everything. In another fucking dimension, Hitler was not Hitler.
In another one, you guys are the hosts and we're the guests.
Exactly. And so like
We're throwing a fresh-ass DJ party in another universe.
Possibility.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, we would.
So the one that we're experiencing,
W would
right?
be there.
The one that we're experiencing, and the one that we like are conscious of, right? We're left to pick up the pieces, to go in between our dreams, to fucking go in between our daydreams and see which reality is which reality. And the truth is they're all happening all at the same time. And it's
Yeah.
just a matter of what your
Everything
vibration
everywhere,
is
all
Eating the
at once.
beast
and
right now. Y'all are
where
just
you
eating
fucking
the beast
Well,
right now.
Yes.
Well, you know what? Like going back to the AI thing, I don't know about y'all, but I'm enjoying these Selma Hayek deepfakes. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what that means, but I think I do. And holy
man.
fuck, God, he's on the horny slop chain, bud.
I've always
man,
wanted to
hold
see
on,
that
hold on.
titty. You know what I'm saying?
It's on the one movie with Cheech. What's the movie with Cheech?
He wants to fucking hook up with Selma or something?
No, buddies. At the beginning of the movie, it's the Quentin Tarantino movie with the vampire one.
Yeah.
Doesn't she get naked in that movie?
Get naked? Don't you get naked? I want to see
Which one is
that?
that?
He's like, I just got
Dusk
a new
till,
religion.
from Dusk Till Dawn. Doesn't she get naked in that one? I thought she did.
I don't think she does.
Maybe she don't.
Maybe she does.
Well, God bless Salma Hayek.
But either was.
But
So what do you got to say about Salma Hayek's existence? You know what I'm saying?
I thank you, God, for creating such an amazing
Is she real or no?
person. Yeah, speaking of all the things you guys were saying, maybe not, but I think she is. You know what I mean?
Well,
she spit on Eminem.
Here's
That's
the thing.
that happened.
That's pretty cool.
You know?
Salma Hayek
I mean, not cool.
spit
She
on Eminem.
She accidentally spit on him because she was so excited to see him.
Oh, that's
And
pretty cool.
she,
That's
like-
pretty
she
sweet,
was, like,
actually.
I don't know. drinking
Any
water
woman
or
that looks
something.
like that can spit on me anytime for being excited to see me. But I'll tell you that right there. Like, oh,
Yo,
yeah.
deepfakes are real though. So
Are they? Are they real? Are they a part
Are they
of the
real
slop
or
chain?
no?
I mean, they're called deep fakes.
You don't want to see my rabbit hole.
I mean, y'all got to take care of your algorithm. This is not advice for JR over here. This is advice for all of you as I pour myself another beer. Oh, man, this Maine Beer Company beer is something you don't want to miss. If you see it, you got to get it. But let me get to what I was saying about, I think
Deepfakes.
the place that you're really fucking up here is
Me or me?
both of you.
Oh,
Both of you, is that we are a part of nature, and your assumption of all this conscious thought is anything fucking special. And really, the only truth that we can rely on is the truth of nature and how it acts. So, like, you might have to be asking yourself, WWAT, like, what would a tree do? Because this is nature. If you're looking for truth in this world, because universal is something that's beyond our conscious, like, real understanding. It takes an Einstein to really, like, understand at the fucking level where he was like, maybe, you know, and he was like, maybe this is true, to understand this cosmic shit that we talk about, solar system. Who fucking cares if we're part of the, like, the sun shines every fucking day, doesn't it? Like, our truth, if we want to look at our fucking truth, it's in nature. And our nature as humans does have some significance. And a lot of what I hear all I was talking about is human nature of explaining your existence from fucking little shit to multi-universe shit to all this stuff. But, like, yeah, maybe, but truth, none of that's truth. What I can tell you is fucking trees grow to the sunlight. They grow with water, and that they fucking grow with some kind of source of food. And most things that are alive do the same in one way or another. And we are a part of that.
Okay.
And if you look for truth, I think you got to go simple and not complex. If you're looking for truth in this world and what we can understand and the consciousness that is even me, just like spewing this bullshit. Like, if you were a tree, bud, if you were a turtle, like, do you think
None of this would
turtles
matter.
think about any of this bullshit?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Do you think
I
that's
truly
what
don't. And I think all
makes
this,
us different?
no,
as
I
a-
think it just makes us flawed. It makes us fucking flawed
flawed.
that we have this ability to think that we are smarter than fucking nature, that we can consciously think our ways out of our nature, which is the truth of who we are as a biological being. I think trying to fucking think we're special, that not everything that's in our heads and everything that's happening is not.
Are you an atheist?
No.
Okay. So, that being said, without even going into your, like, spiritual beliefs, do you think there are concepts that exist?
And maybe I am an atheist. I don't know. What do you mean by atheist? Like, what's your hard definition on
I
it,
would say,
guess?
do you believe in a creator being, a cause of all causes?
Creator? No.
A cause of all causes. Do you think there's anything that happens to us after we die, or
Yes.
Okay, so that's a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, it's very
no, that's
Eastern
a-
philosophy. You might attribute.
So
that
is
to.
it continuous, like, is it continuous existence into, like, a reincarnation type thing, or is it a
Correct?
Okay, and you actually
You're a reincarnator?
and you actually
I'm a reincarnator, bud.
what a truth.
do you think okay?
You just found that
Do
out?
you think that you choose?
Fraternizing?
Do I think there's choice in there?
No, like, and where you go. So, like, in a sense of,
No.
like, you're reincarnating. Do you think that we chose this path?
No. Can I explain my philosophy behind that,
Yes,
though?
please.
Because I don't think it. I think religion is a beautiful thing. And I hope I don't offend anybody in saying anything I say after this, because I think it could offend some people who might be a little bit, in my opinion, and this is including in things after I said that, a little soft if you're offended by what I say about your religion. If you ain't strong enough in your religion to believe in what you believe in, then maybe that's on you and not what you're hearing me say. But I remember the first time I learned what reincarnation was as, like, a theory of Buddhism, and I was like, that fucking makes sense. But the only reason it's ever made sense to me and still makes sense to me now is not in a very spiritual way. But if you die, your body goes in the ground. Well, let's even try and make this as general as possible, because I'm not just talking about humans here, but we experience it too, because we're part of this nature that I'm talking about, is that you live, you die, you decompose, and you become other things. And decomposition is a very important part of how the world works and breathes, and its dirt and its air and its fucking everything. It's fucking everything that things need to die.
Do you think we have a soul?
that is something that I'm
Because I agree with you 100%
like,
with
it's
what you're saying
for
up
me,
until that point.
like there's just no evidence that there is.
21 grams. There's no evidence that a body loses 21 grams when they die, and like they have no.
I don't know if that
Well, I
was
don't-
repeatable. I remember looking at that.
I don't think that like could be really accurate in terms of like that's an old study and
yeah.
like you
that's-
just can't
but that
measure all
But that also
of it.
goes back to that information
Because
of like,
this,
how do we know
I
that's
believe
true?
much more
You know?
in the theory that the physics theories, right? There's a couple of them, 3 of them, I think, that like govern the universe, the universal laws in physics, and they seem pretty fucking accurate, right? But they're like, even when you hear about the universal laws in physics at your fucking School of Mines Physics 1 class, you're gonna fucking hear about shit that is just theory. It's not proven.
So right.
It's not
So but
proven.
but to you
But
it's
those
pretty much
theories, like-
finite, right?
And you can't
Like-
go to
No, no.
Wikipedia.
Hold on.
One of them is
So
nothing
no.
is never created nor destroyed.
Right, but is there an
that
essence
means-
in that? Is there an essence?
And,
Like your all right, your physical.
That's sweet to think about, and I like that it could exist, and that's a way that makes me comfortable with like existence. But I'm also like,
But outside of that,
very-
then, do you believe in the metaphysical existing? Like, do you believe in like
I mean, I can't
paranormal things?
I will say that like I want to, I guess is the best that I can say, because belief is not something that I can really give to what the evidence is given for any type of like external like soul. I would love to think that
So then what is
there is
love?
part of me that is
What is love?
And and for me, this consciousness, when I break it down to that kind of level, I think the only thing I can really like ever experience as reality in what you're talking about is ancestry, that your family lives within you and their experiences, and that's the DNA that is the fucking coding of what we remember. And if I believe in anything, like maybe there is something special that is living in within us, coded in our DNAs, that's special about me. I would fucking love to believe that I'm special, but there's a big part of me that's just like, I'm earth slop. Like I'm just part of fucking earth, just like every plant, every animal, and every fucking rodent that dies and lives in years that we don't even fucking care about or think about.
But you're much more intelligent than all those things.
Well, intelligence, am I? Because fucking moles
Most
aren't.
definitely, because you
moles-
got a gun. You
but
can get
moles,
a gun.
Moles aren't fucking murdering Palestinians.
Animals can't do that.
But they're
Animals
not.
ain't never got one.
They're not
You're
one
bringing up a
gun.
really good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're
Yeah,
not
I got
fucking
you.
killing the world. So am I smarter? Am I smarter because I
But
have this
here's-
ability to fucking dispute this bullshit than the fucking
So
little fucking
You are, because you're
blind
able to
mole?
go to a grocery store and just buy meat.
Right,
just
but we're
straight off the
also
fucking
able to
shelf.
ruin the earth and kill it for everything else that survives on this place. And
Yeah.
like, are we smarter for that? Are we
No.
smarter for ruining the place that everything else lives, or are we just fucking?
Are we really
convinced
ruining
we
it though?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, like, yeah, like every
Abso-fucking-lutely.
fucking
But we've been
everything
saying that. But
shows
we've been
it.
saying that for
No,
years.
bro,
I've been
dude,
saying that
we're
for
talking
years.
about, we're talking about small lifetime planet shit, like that with the
we're
expanse.
too little for the Earth
Yeah.
to be experiencing big changes in our lifetimes.
That's
our-
why I'm
our
like, I don't
100-year
think it's to that
lifetimes. It's
extent
billions
where
of
we're
years
saying that we're
old, bud.
destroying it. You know?
No, but
I mean, I'm sure we are.
It's
Obviously,
incredible how
there's-
quickly we are
Hey, bud.
because it's built for lasting, but we're not.
right,
We're pushing it to the limit.
Hold on.
February and March are our
Told you I was
snowiest
gonna
months.
fucking. They were
And
feeding
then we
the
ain't
bees.
had
You notice
shit.
we've had
we had
rain?
shit. We had shit. Yeah.
Bro, this is that shit they said that was going to happen, that we were always in
Yeah.
snow during spring
"Ah,
break.
it's not gonna
Going like, that ain't never happened.
And all of a
to
sudden,
your
it's
point,
This is the
all of a
only
sudden-
time,
like,
acting like it hasn't, but acting like it's not supposed to be snowing.
You're digging your car out the fucking
they
park
just
drive, and it
experience it.
takes you a
There
fucking
would've-
hour to do it.
If there would have been fucking prop bets on the weather and shit 10 years ago when everybody was predicting all this shit, and now it's finally happening, people would be fucking millionaires on the weather, bud.
Yeah,
like
and
we're
burning
legalizing
their
weather
fucking-
betting these
yeah.
days. You know, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. But they predicted it too early. You're saying they said all this shit and it didn't happen, and then now it's all fucking happening. We're getting fucking crazy ass weather all over the world.
So hold
all
on.
the
Before we
time.
get off
Fucking
on
A.
that tangent, back to your point, it seems to me as if you live in a very finite universe.
Which we do.
You live in a very finite.
We all do.
universe. We know
We
it's
live in the
not
same place.
It's but again, perception is reality, right? So you live in a universe where you know the answer, you know the end, you know the beginning, you know what's going to happen to you. I live in a universe where I don't know the answer, and so it's infinite. There's infinite possibilities of what the answer could actually be, and all of these things, and I don't claim to know any of it. But what I do claim to know is my own lived experience. And my lived experience also includes the metaphysical. My lived experience includes my emotions. My emotions, how many languages do you know?
A solid 1.2.
Okay, there you go. So you have 26 letters to describe every single emotion that you've ever felt in your entire life.
Okay.
26 letters. That's it. And a flood of fucking shit that we and experiences, emotions, lived experiences, fucking weird ass shit that we don't know what the fuck is going on, that we can't explain. All of these fucking things. And I have experienced metaphysical shit within the spiritual realm that I believe exists. And now it could be that I am delusional. It could be that I believe these things and therefore they happen to me.
It could be that you're spreading on the Billy Graham
Shut
style.
the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Both of y'all. I ain't even fucking
Where'd you
doing
get that placa, little popito? Where'd you get that placa, little puppy?
I don't know. I'm gonna fight him.
No,
though.
you were on it. You were on it. You were on it. I'm sorry. But that was
I'm about to
that
go
was my
lightning on
moment.
you fools right now. I'm about to go lightning on you fools.
Hey, I've been holding that one in my pocket for like 25 minutes, and there has been no moment, and all of a sudden it was like, I know exactly. It's right here. This is it. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fuck up
That's
because what you're saying. No, because what you're saying is some really dope deep shit.
Well, yeah, and it's how we decide to look at the world around us, right? And how we're gonna perceive the world. I choose to look at my world and to look at everything around me as infinite possibilities, as things that can always fucking happen, that I have the ability not only to affect me, but the people around me. And I can do that and choose to do that in a positive and effective way and live with intent.
Okay.
And when doing so, my moral compass is given to me by my creator and myself and my experiences on how I want and ought to live. And I believe that doesn't only come from a societal thing, that more comes from a spiritual, metaphysical thing where I am at one with all of you because we are the collective. We are a part of each other. We are those things that you're describing as atoms, as molecules, as things that will never fucking die.
Nature.
Ever. Nature, we will not be destroyed. We will only be recreated. And all of those things encompass what is us as people.
Somebody.
No, you good.
Do you? So you said it's multiverse was the.
It's a possibility.
Hold on.
I think it's
in
possible.
here. I gotta jump
Oh,
in.
I just wanted to ask real quick. So when you said both, right? So you said you see it from this, like, if it's like this, then you see your job as like your position as this, and your position included your creator. Is that one creator for your universe, or is that one creator for all universes?
That's a very good question. And the way that I see it is all of this stuff that exists was created. And so whether it's multidimensional, whether whatever the fuck is going on, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea. I know I didn't do it. I know that like there are paradoxes that exist, right? Going to one of your points is your earth slop. Okay. Yeah. The probability of you even existing, the probability of
In my lifetime on the lifetime of the earth is like you know,
exactly. So it's
like
just
I'm a blip.
But you are not only are you that blip, not only are you that insignificant fucking piece of existence, you're also the most fucking precious thing to ever exist in the history of fucking mankind, because the probability of you existing is fucking very, very finite. And if we're gonna go into like existence of actual like creatures like us, then we're the only ones that fucking exist according to everybody. And so like that
I don't know if I agree with that though. I've
No,
always
if
thought,
I believe in aliens, but I'm saying if we are the ones the only ones, we're the most precious, valuable fucking things in existence. We are the conscious, right? And so we're this and that all at the same time, and that's all I'm saying.
I saw this picture of the universe, and it was a meme, and it was like a little arrow pointing to like a little baby star inside the galaxy, and it was like, "This is you worrying about your bills and your fear." And it's like, yo, if it's that big, there's no way we're the only ones.
I mean, it's I think it's highly unlikely.
It's highly unlikely, but the
I
only
also
ones
think
that we quote unquote.
But you know what
we know of.
But you know what I also.
Ish. I mean, they're coming out
Very
with all these
you
papers
asked-
and the shit on their pyramids and all this fucking shit.
Well, you asked him earlier about souls, and I don't know. Those are all real good questions. To me, I feel like I used to have an answer, like that was more solid about what I thought, and then, I think I grew up with one
I just want to
answer.
say I'm very comfortable with whatever is true.
Well,
because I'm open to it being something special. I would love.
I've been on this wild thought process lately.
No.
You ever done DMT?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you blasted off? Like, you blasted the fuck off?
I mean, I did
Do I
not.
seem like a
Don't
guy
try
that
this at
didn't
home,
blast
kids.
I'll tell you
off?
what.
Fuck.
I'll tell you what. The first thing.
Don't try this at home.
I seem
No,
like
try
that
it at
guy.
home.
Yeah, you
I
seem
seem
like-
like
you
that
definitely
guy.
did it.
You
Friends
just
that
looked at
you
me like
know.
you seem like that guy.
You did it this morning. No,
Wow, I'm that guy.
You know what?
Like, I'm on it
I'll tell
right
you
now.
what. I'll tell you what. I've told the story before on the podcast. I've semi blasted off, but it was enough for me to understand. Oh, I understand all that shit anybody's ever said about it in an entirely different way. Where before I had this idea that everything was just a chemical reaction happening in your mind, and it still might be. Like, it's a chemical reaction happening in your mind. But when it happened to me, I mean, I got to the gates. I didn't even go through the door. I just got to the gates of the building, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. Yep. Like, this is a place, and Again, it may be a chemical reaction place, but for some reason, we've all got that programmed place in there somewhere.
And we're all gonna be there one day.
And it's like, and in that sense,
It's a different place.
I think consciousness itself. You asked earlier, Stephen, if he believed in the soul. I don't know if I believe in the soul or what I believe in those kinds of senses, but I think if there is a soul, I think consciousness is like the only evidence we have of
The only differentiator.
Well, we can call it a differentiator, but I would say that soul is the evidence we have for it.
Differentiator.
And the
'Cause
thing
dolphins are
is that
fucking
as humans, well, that's what I'm saying, is that as humans, we are very selfish in our own
Octopus.
mind about the way I am.
Octopus.
So it's already hard for me to empathize with people who don't look like me programmatically, right? That's why people act so goofy to people who they don't know. And all the racism and all the things can be attributed to this,
That's a kind way to describe
this programming.
racist.
Yeah.
You ever done
Go ahead.
something?
I'm not trying to be kind.
Hold on.
I'm
You
just
ever
saying-
done something so
you are.
fucked up that you know that it's fucked up and you can feel it in the pit of your stomach?
Yeah, of course, everybody has. for
What
sure.
is that?
Yep.
I think
That's
that's
consciousness.
Shame.
I think
That's
that's
shame.
That's shame.
And where does that derive from?
Well,
I
shame
think-
is
I
an
think
important
that's-
part
I
of
think that-
evolution.
I think that derives from your consciousness.
Shame is something
Again-
you see across species.
Well,
It's not just
point,
a human thing.
But that's the point I was making. The point I was making was that.
believe
But
Going back
Animals
to
have
nature,
souls.
but
Well,
going back to nature, in nature, animals don't give a fuck.
No,
Well,
they
the
do
point I
give a
was-
fuck. I've seen
There
a monkey
are
save a
some-
cat out of a burning building. Like,
That's true.
animals give a fuck.
yeah,
I've seen it.
They
There's
have the
levels.
capability.
Like, obviously, there's levels to the evolutionary
yes.
game. But
And I
also,
But dogs ain't gonna be like,
Y'all weren't
I'm
always
with this
here.
dog. They're
Dogs
gonna go
weren't
fuck
always
the
You
other
don't
dog.
know that.
dogs
They're
weren't
gonna go
always
fuck the
here.
other dog.
Like,
you know?
look where dogs came from.
Now
Look
they're
where
wolves.
we came from. Like, you look at,
Right.
there's a chain, and that also means that we're not done. If we don't fuck up the environment so bad that our environment can't contain or hold us or survive us, depends, because like we're also there's something called the carrying capacity of the world. Y'all have ever heard of that statement?
I don't believe that we're
That's
overpopulated.
yeah, I was just
I
saying.
don't
No,
believe-
I don't
believe that.
I don't
there's,
either,
like-
and nor would the predictions that I learned in college of what the carrying capacity of the world is even getting to. But there are
I do.
you can
That's why I don't have no kids.
you can make predictions. Good call.
We don't need another
gonna have, like,
fucking
40 of
spoken
them.
words in the world.
I need like 40.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, straight
fuck,
up. No, I
lost my shit.
want.
Damn it.
No, carrying capacity of the world.
Thank you. So, when I was in college in 2008, the carrying capacity of the world was predicted at like 13 billion people, like just a little bit less. of that. Like, but the thing is like carrying capacity is not like special to the world. Carrying capacity is every environment holds a carrying capacity. You can put a little, what are those like little plant fucking aquariums called? Terrariums, right? You can put one of them together and they have a carrying capacity of life in those little ecosystems.
Life's a risk.
And Earth is an ecosystem that is the biggest ecosystem we're aware of that can survive life.
Well, would you? Let me ask you this: would you classify and expand that a little bit more to like an ecosystem of the universe? Because we have weather within our universe. We have.
I think it's too theoretical for our understanding of what the universe, how the universe acts.
Excuse me, not our universe, our galaxy. Our galaxy.
Well, even then, our galaxy, our universe, hell, our solar system.
It's like
in our lifetime, we've decreased a planet. Right? Like our understanding of the solar system is pretty like juvenile in terms of understanding how it works. And our understanding of Earth is still pretty juvenile, better than the solar system.
Now that you say that, what do you guys think about the idea that life was on Mars at some point? And then, things happened, maybe or something like that.
I mean,
and somehow couple humans transferred. Hold on. And then somehow we ended up here on Earth and started life here.
No.
I think white people are from Mars.
I mean,
I really do.
There's a good argument there
people,
in
yes.
sunburns, right? We're the only ones really allergic to the sun, and like we're probably from a different place because we're so allergic.
I just
to
think
it.
that the fact that there's architectures on there and
that's artificial, like brought in. Like I don't got.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, and that's very real. That's very real.
This is the joke.
Melanin.
Remember in the
hold on. We're not gonna let that one ride because
you got none.
In that white ass place they come from, there ain't a lot of sun.
Nah, they destroyed their planet, bro.
The sun don't be
They destroyed their planet.
Nah, I'm talking about England. Okay?
I know,
the sun don't be sunning over there like that.
Yeah, they
Scotland, I don't know if you ever seen the pictures, but they ain't never seen the pictures of Scotland.
Strategically went there after they landed in the Yucatan and destroyed the dinosaurs.
There's not a beach in Scotland you want to go to because the sun ain't out.
You can't pan me.
no sunlight.
I'm just saying it. It's
That
not
was
his
the
fault.
cleverest shit I heard all day. I fucking love that. If y'all missed it, you suck. That was the best fucking thing on this whole podcast.
Y'all been listening
I'm going,
close.
mic drop.
Four mics is hot. 4 mics is hot out here on
I know,
LRBT.
sorry.
We're not used to it, and so I apologize for.
Listen, we can go
brain.
on and on and hours about this, but I wanted to do a little segment because you guys did a segment with me that was super fun, and we can kind of just do a freestyle.
Are you talking pronto con tonto?
Pronto con tonto.
And I want to do that with AG from the 303. It's kind of a similar to the Drink Champ Challenge.
Yeah, we
and I'm gonna let you run that. I'm gonna let you run it.
It's essentially a quick time with slime from Drink Champs on that's Nori's game that they do where they ask.
He's gonna need another
questions.
drink though.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
I got a beer.
We got some non-alcoholics and 2 alcoholics.
I'll take a non-alcoholic.
All right.
Hit me with a
Who would
non-alky.
like an
take
alcoholic?
an
I
alcoholic.
picked up an alcoholic. There's an amber lager, and you like IPAs, so there's one for you.
Orale.
Grab me one of them non-alkies.
And
A
then
good one.
would you prefer
Brewery.
the non-alky IPA or hoppy amber? You're a hoppy amber kind of
IDJ.
fella.
Shout out.
IDGAF.
I'm just letting y'all know I'm shouting out.
I'm gonna let Justin here run
Okay,
the Drink
so-
Champ Challenge.
Yeah. So on Drink Champs, they do a game called Quit Time with Slime. So we named ours Conto Prontonto. Pronto con tonto.
Yeah, thanks.
Pronto con tonto.
Thanks, Slime.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
All
Quick Time with Slime. Pronto con tonto. So anyways, we essentially what we'll do is we're gonna freestyle at this time, and we're just gonna ask you some questions, this or that. If you don't have an answer, we drink. If you choose a tie, we drink. And if you choose one or the other, obviously whatever. But the idea
Basically, gotta
idea
save
is-
us from getting fucked up.
Yeah, and the
Is
idea,
it
but
like
the idea
truth or
too.
dare?
No, the
Like
idea is
you don't
kind of
have
to
an-
talk about stuff, right? So
I
it's
bet.
like,
Start them off with an easy one. It's easier to just learn how
So-
to play by
so,
play.
Dude.
I bet.
And you can start
okay,
with the
tell-
Nas situation.
Now tell me real quick. So the 2 battles that we went to, who were the 2 winners?
The winner for the Who's Got the
Lakim.
Juice was Lakim,
Lakim.
and then the winner for the 5280 was Johnny Storm.
Rest
Johnny
in
Storm.
peace. Right? He dead.
No, Johnny Storm is not dead.
No,
Jesus
which one
Christ.
died?
No,
Don't un-RIP.
Billy
We
Boondocks.
reverse that RIP. We take that back.
All right. Well, I mean,
Hold that
RIP
until a more
RIP
appropriate
Billy
time
Boondock.
for that one. Everybody gonna get it though, so it's okay. For what it's worth.
Eric, hit that reverse.
So the way it works.
Producer, hit that
Vatos
reverse.
locos forever.
Vatos locos forever. So
There it is.
So the way that it goes then, the way that this kind of thing would go, would be like, all right, so La Kim or Johnny Storm. The idea is
Gotta
that's
choose your drink.
difficult
Gotta
for you,
choose
right?
your
You're
drink,
like, oh,
basically.
okay, I gotta do it.
Lock him or Johnny Storm? Johnny Storm.
And then you could give us a little why. Tell everybody what's up and gives them fools a shout out.
I mean, because he beat him, didn't he? Like he straight up beat him at the.
Yeah, Lock him actually battled.
Oh yeah, that's right. At the spot, I remember.
Well, I don't
was
think
there.
he beat him, but somebody.
Okay, so like he said, this was an easy one to start. Give him
yeah.
another one.
Now you got
That was the easy one.
All
That
right.
was the layup.
All right, so Blood In, Blood Out or American Me.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. Blood in, blood out.
Why?
Sorry, no tortilla.
Why though? Is it like?
It's probably the one that I saw the most when I was a kid.
Oh, bet.
Yeah, it's probably the one that I fucking like. I've seen American Me maybe like a handful of times.
Yeah.
Blood in, blood out. Fucking yeah.
Yeah, American Me is a hitter too. I got a few quotables from American Me. But
Yeah, it's
that's
weird. Like
the
I
wrong
like
movie for
American
today.
Me, but definitely not.
Yeah.
Not Blood and Blood Out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From you?
Definitly.
I was gonna say we
I
should
was
have
gonna
both
wonder- I
answers.
was
I was like that
wondering
one.
a
They're
little
not. It's not worth both.
I was
names.
wondering a little bit about you.
Fucking
La onda.
tortillas and fucking poison. And golly, we had the whole movie up in here.
I
today.
know. Well, let's just continue making another easy one from that.
Pronto.
Vatos Locos or Onda?
Matos locos forever, Holmes.
Hey, we're not supposed to drink on that. He made a decision.
Oh yeah, but I'm going to because that was a good answer.
We got the non-alcoholics. We can
breaking the rules.
We can break the rules when we got the non-alcoholics.
Oh yeah.
We can do whatever we want. You guys,
Oh,
I
you
forgot
gave me
already.
the alcoholic, so
You could have told me this
no
one was
rules.
alcoholic. I'd be like,
Can I ask one?
Yeah.
Can you pronto?
get in there. Yeah.
Pronto con tonto.
Nas or Eminem?
Nah.
Good one. Nah, is that
Nas.
quick, huh?
Yeah, all day.
You're
All
offending.
day.
You're offending
All
Spoke,
day.
bud. like,
Listen, bro,
be
it goes
careful.
back to the white thing, man.
'Cause-
Like I understand
Lyrically, though.
Lyrically. What are you talking about? Lyrical miracle, or are you talking about writing a story? Like are you talking
Eminem
about
writes
like
stories, though.
He does, but it's like lyrical miracle stories.
He
It's
writes
like
stories.
I'm
He does
gonna
everything.
fucking murder my mom.
Nas-
and,
Nas
like I
only
never
does
wanted
stories.
to murder my mom. I
Right.
never wanted to like fucking beat the
That was
fuck
the
out of
old
my.
Eminem.
That is some white- that was
never,
the old Eminem.
yeah, some white people shit. Like
That's
I
some
never
old-
wanted to fucking
That's
like
old Eminem
take
shit.
my girlfriend and put her in the trunk
like,
and
"Yo,
drive her over a
don't
goddamn
you
bridge.
butcher that.
But that
I'm
was,
just kidding.
but that was a great
kidding.
story.
I'm just
cool.
kidding.
But that was a great story. You
Yeah,
All the
listen
good
to it.
jokes are in
I
the
listened
background.
to it, but
You
I
know?
didn't necessarily like that wasn't my shit. Like,
But it's not like that's all he is, and we
it's not-
can't
it's-
say that that's all
but
he is. 'cause
again, the
he's
same thing.
Evolved.
So when he stopped doing drugs, he got worse.
Okay.
I know that's
okay.
right.
When he stopped
I'll
doing
say
drugs,
this. I'll say this. I'll say this. Old Nas, old Eminem, I could go with Nas. But now,
now I have no reference point because I don't listen to either.
Pronto
Okay.
con tonto out here ruining friendships. Jeez Louise, you guys calm down.
Eminem
Next
is
one.
Spoke's favorite.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That it's going to offend him.
Like he's his wordplay, his fucking shit. But I don't. If he did everything that he did while black, he would not be. He would not be as big as he was. That captivated a culture. That was Beastie Boys then Eminem.
So you
right?
tell, but hold on. So then, in that argument, then you're saying that you would think that Nas is the best rapper, even if he was white.
I would think, but because there ain't nobody like putting that type of shit together.
But if,
I mean,
but
it's
if
not.
Nas
It's
was,
black music. It's black music. Period. So that other side doesn't fucking. It doesn't.
But
it
you
doesn't
have
chime.
to. But you have to
It
see the
doesn't- no,
hypocrisy
you don't have
in
to-
that flip flop though, because you can't say that
you
like
can't
Eminem
flip,
can't
you
be.
can't flip flop that because of the population.
Yeah.
Because of
so,
who.
so then, if we're talking about just lyricism, it's not about
Nas, all right,
white or black.
Nas is not a better lyricist than Eminem.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay.
That's what I wanted
Nas
to
is
hear.
not a better lyricist.
But that's not your main
But no, we're
your
talking
criteria
about
is
culture. We're talking
I feel
about
you.
what you're bringing and what hip hop is, the essence of hip hop, the soul, if you will, of hip hop,
I got you.
and how
I
that
understand that.
reverberates through generations.
Yeah, if that's the case, then Coolio's the GOAT.
Nah,
R.I.P.
I mean, R.I.P. But no,
I love it. First album I ever bought.
on the floor, come on, get up, and get down. Gonna get down.
Summertime.
Okay, let's
One,
all
two,
right, let's do
All right, next one.
let's do one more and let's make this one political. So
Okay.
But you both have to answer, and
Donald
Justin
Trump.
gets to ask.
But you know what's fun is that I'm Adrian's friend on Facebook.
So you
and
could do-
I've always found his posts interesting because
Who's?
Mine.
AG,
Oh, got it. Got it.
AG303 over here because AG from the 303 is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
AG from the 303 because you don't you poke
The
bears. You poke bears when you post, and you never poke an expected bear. You always do this thing where, like, okay, you poked a bear, and then we saw what you thought.
Producer, can
so
you
I got
show
you.
me some
I know where
examples?
you're
I'm
at.
not familiar
And then
with
you'll
this.
poke another bear, and I'm like,
Maybe
oh,
show
I
us.
had no idea you were gonna poke that bear, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you do that a lot.
Yeah.
And I
shit, Adrian's out there fucking putting Nazi signs on Teslas and shit, bro.
No, get the fuck out of here.
no, I'm just gonna say because of that.
We already got
because-
the heat, bud. Don't be
because
saying that on the cast.
It kind of makes it hard for me to kind of think of like these because I like
I'm fucking
Spoke.
around.
I've been me and Spoke been following each other for goddamn it. I don't want to say it out loud. It's been over 15 years and shit, right? We've been following.
I think
each
I've
other
been
for a
friends
long
with Spoke
time.
on Facebook since like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
He didn't know who I was for 10 of those years.
Yeah.
Like, he was just
who's-
like,
who's that? Oh,
accept.
I was like,
Denver,
what's-
you're in Denver,
the
accept.
The last podcast, I
Well,
was like,
because
what's
of
his
that,
name?
I know a few like I've had time seeing his interests come across my timeline where we've been friends for like a year or two, and so when I maybe
Got
a
that
couple,
premiere
maybe a
or
little, maybe a little bit longer than that, maybe like COVID. I feel like,
See it.
but in any case, we've
Oh,
been friends
nope.
since then, and I've always noticed that about you that you poke the bears, but you never poke expected bears. So it makes it hard for me to go. You know what? I want to do a political one, but I have to kind of like. So I'm gonna jump. That's what. So preempt it. I'm gonna jump with a question.
All right,
So I'm gonna give you one.
Go ahead.
But if it's off, I want you to know it's only because
No. Do
you're
whatever
like-
do whatever you want.
That's
And
dope.
I'll
That's
explain.
why I'm
I'll
confusing
explain.
like
Here we
that.
go.
That's really dope.
We're
that you're
about to lose
confusing like that.
followers.
I fuck with that. All right.
Just kidding.
Fuck those followers.
Let's see.
You just gotta, you gotta think about this stuff. And
Putin or Netanyahu?
ooh,
All right, so you do follow. You do. All right, bet. Right now, Putin.
definitely,
Putin?
definitely.
Most
Wow.
definitely. And do I need to explain or
Well,
just leave it at that?
No, you can explain.
All right.
By all means.
So what we have.
A bunch of people aren't, even if you want to give like a quick 10-second, like, all right, Netanyahu, Prime Minister.
By the way, this
of
has
Israel.
All right,
By the way, this has
Benjamin
nothing to do
Netanyahu.
with the show, April
No,
17th.
this has everything to do with everything in my
yeah,
life,
make sure
so
that
y'all know,
everybody
like,
follows,
where I
comes to
stand.
the
If they're
show.
still listening in any format,
That doesn't mean we're going to have Putin at the show, okay?
Hold up,
So relax.
these political format, this shit is hot topics. B, I don't want to
Yeah,
hear nobody
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
hot take, hot
We're not
take.
supposed to talk about that shit that's going on.
Right,
These motherfuckers. Hey, I framed the question. Fuck y'all if you want to act funny to him.
So here it is. Ain't nobody acting funny. Get
I'm
the
just
fuck outta
saying.
here,
Fuck
dog.
y'all. I
got
framed
you.
the question.
I got you. So Putin, and the reason being is all I want is consistency, right? I want
Yeah.
consistency in my government. And so if we're saying that we're anti-war, if we're saying that we don't want to go and invade Russia or we don't want to all right, so a lot of this shit is actually let me backtrack. A lot of this shit has changed from one administration to another. Okay. And so you have the full entire support of the Biden administration for Russia. You have, for Israel. And then you have the full entire support of the Trump administration for Russia. I want the same idea of not spending money on fucking foreign wars to go across the board. Okay. I don't need to give motherfucking Israel $38+ billion a year of our tax dollars so we can fund. I wouldn't even consider myself a socialist. I'm so far left that I'm right. And so but to fund a country that most Americans don't understand that is a socialist country. I'm down with the idea of workers owning their labor. And if that falls under some socialist, communist ideas, I'm fucking down with that. Fuck y'all. Workers need to own their labor, or at least a larger majority of it. Okay. And so if you're looking at the other side of the spectrum, oh, we need to give all this money to Ukraine. We need to do this, that, and the other because Putin's doing this, that, and the other. Have y'all looked at what the fuck happened with who won World War II? It wasn't the Axis power. It wasn't the United States. It wasn't the French. It was the fucking Russians, bro. We tried
28 million dead Russian soldiers fighting that war.
Yeah.
How many Americans died in that war?
It was like 4 million or something.
Not even. I think it was like 1.2.
No, 4 million between all the Axis powers.
Right? And
Yeah.
28 million Russians died in World War II.
And not only that, the U.S. was trying to align with the Nazis to go after the fucking Russians. So what the fuck are you going to tell me?
Tried.
Like,
they did. That was the Cold War. That was the Cold War when they aligned against
I'm
the
talking
fucking
more World War-
USSR.
World
and then
War
the collapse
II
of the
into that.
fucking USSR happens. Right? Like that. I mean,
that was a continuation of World War II.
The fear of fucking communism in America still, the Red Scare that our parents grew up and grew through, integrated into all of us, where the communist perspective is so disrespected. So
I've been listening to the
disaligned,
Communist
so
Manifesto on fucking.
If we don't do
Good for
nothing,
you.
we're not nothing.
good for you, because that's right.
It's a bourgeoisie, bro. Like, and so what we're living in a fucking time where we're trying to take like serious topics into consideration, and then we throw some dumbass motherfucking shit about a goddamn movie in it, and
It's not dumb. It's genius.
It's culturally appropriate. We're trying to reach an audience.
History
AG.
and a time machine.
We're trying to reach an audience.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, to answer your question, if I have to pick between the two, it's Putin. The guy
It's the one not doing the straight genocide. Is that the surprise? Is that the surprise? Is that like he picked the
one
person
that's not murdering children?
Because like you may find that what Putin is doing could be kind of genocidal, and maybe history will tell that story. But I'll tell you, fucking right now, history is telling the story
as
that
genocidal?
Netanyahu is committing a genocide against these
doubt.
people
100%.
in Palestine, and
100%.
over and over again we're seeing it. And
that's not a left thing. That's the worst thing. Is when like people will come and like and then
Oh, if
even
we
like
wanna
left
really
folks
get into
will be
this
like
shit.
will blame like the far extreme left, and I'm like,
coming
bro.
back. I just want you guys to know.
He kind
I
of.
like this.
AJ,
dope.
I was 1 second away from putting my mic down into Spoke and being like, "Hey, nice guest." It was, it came out perfect.
You're getting me fired up, so that's a good thing.
Well, also, he kind of looks like somebody that would kind of be cool to smoke a blunt and drink a beer with.
Who, Putin?
Yeah.
He knows some judo. I
know
want
what I'm
I would learn judo from him before I
Let's not get it
judge him for
twisted,
anything
y'all.
else.
Let's not get
I
it
don't know.
twisted. Let's not get it twisted. Like this
He's a pretty,
motherfucker is a bad hombre. Okay, stop. He's a bad hombre.
AJ told me that he's pretty cool, actually. So now I'm thinking,
No. Putin is a bad
Maybe
hombre,
a blunt.
bro.
Ahora somos
Maybe a
canazas
blunt.
hasta la muerte, fool.
If y'all are trying to make me pick between the two, that's what I'm gonna pick right now. But
Well, that was a fun game.
Dude
That was a fun game.
Dude ain't like.
Yeah, no.
I framed it that way. That was,
I got you.
that was the
But at
point.
the end of the day-
But I'm glad it hit because
Bro,
I didn't know either. Because again, there's a piece of me that's like, you're gonna say one of these things and be like, oh, that was stupid. You know what I mean?
Imagine if he got a VL Placa tattoo.
But I feel you. I definitely feel you in the position of being so left that you're right. Because as far as when you start reading, and I really do believe the Communist Manifesto is a pretty good read for anybody just to like intake what a far left, a true left position is, which is a communist position, because
It's not liberal. It's not progressive. It's not that.
If you feel like the world is crazy and you work your ass off and you're not getting what you deserve, read the Communist Manifesto. If you have fucking guns and you believe you need guns in this world for some reason, but you never fucking shoot them, or you never really understand why you have them outside of the fear of having them, read the Communist Manifesto. Because part of the Communist Manifesto is that when you go far enough left, you get your guns back.
Yep.
And
Yes.
that's where you learn that shit. And I won't say I'm a communist anymore. I'm not any kind of political anything anymore, because fuck all that shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I'll tell you, I have certain values, and part of my values come down where the Communist Manifesto taught me a lot about the world around how it works in a different perspective than what you're normally just pushed in your face of capitalism. communism.
Who
Because
owns your
communism-
labor? Who owns your labor is the question. You go to fucking work for 9 to whatever the fucking time, 6 to whatever the fucking time, and who owns that shit? It's not you. You own $20 an hour of it.
Communism.
You own like $30 an hour of it at the most
That's
in
a wild
Colorado.
way to say it.
And so like, who owns what the fuck you do? It's not you. And if you want it to be you, I mean, fuck, bro, I'll get off on the deep end. I'm recruiting over here.
we got
Shit about-
we got
I'm
Miko
over here
back on
recruiting
He's the
over here.
measures of
Like,
production.
like,
This
yes.
guy is over here
Yes.
Hey, yo.
grabbing it because I'll tell y'all, if you want some freedom in your way you're thinking, read into some far left shit, because I'll tell you, when you go the other direction, you go into far right shit and you start reading about fascism and what that shit's
hate
about.
and murder and killing
It's-
and raping and pillaging.
Makes me
and
sick.
fucking-
It makes
Yeah.
me fucking sick. So if anybody asks me about my politics, best I can say is like, you know what? I align to what you might think is left in some ways. And I align to some things that you might think is right as well. But my politics are very, very well based on my morals and my values. And you only get that kind of shit by reading and understanding what people have already gone through, because none of this shit is fucking new. None of this shit
Hold
is
on. Where
new.
do your morals and your
Get
values
'em.
come from?
Well, I mean, people find them in their religion. People find them in their community.
no, that's not what I'm asking.
Okay,
I'm
well-
asking where do your morals and values
Those
come from?
places.
Your experience?
Right?
Religion, it's not religion because you're not religious.
What's
No, that's
your
not
experience?
true. That's not true. Just because I said that, you might
You
assume
don't
that I'm
believe
an
in it.
atheist, or I don't believe in a
I didn't
God,
assume. I asked.
or like,
I asked, and so,
yeah, like that doesn't mean that I don't find some peace in the teachings of this shit, because I grew up Catholic. I wear Catholic symbols on my body.
Hey,
Because,
shout out to the ex-Catholics.
Shout out to the Spoke-In-Wordz shirt. Also, thank you for rocking that, brother. Look at that.
That's right. That's right. But these symbols mean things to people, and they mean things to me. And that's why I wear them. And I'm not Catholic, but if you looked at the tattoos on my body, you might assume that I am a practicing one. I wear
Would
a
you get that
necklace
black a
every
little
day.
peep?
I wear necklaces every day that comes from this shit, but it's not about God to me. It's about existence, right? That there's a power and belief and a power in faith. And I truly believe in a power and faith in whatever you fucking find faith in. If it's God, if it's yourself, there's a few things that I'd be like, whoa, but like some people find some weird face, but
well, no, but that's
But faith is power.
No.
Faith
But that's the
is-
thing, though. Like, that's where we differentiate ourselves, right? Because you can everything that you're saying, I vibrate with. Like, I get it, but there could be somebody else somewhere else that is like, yeah, I feel that exact same way, except my belief system is this, and this. And that could be murdering people of color, sending them across the border, doing all this fucking bullshit.
Indeed.
And so, like, where do we, one, as being, in my opinion, fucking very enlightened individuals on these aspects, where do we draw the line to where we decide, I'm not gonna let you guys do that anymore.
yeah, I think
I'm not gonna let y'all motherfuckers, because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this whole motherfucking thing, right? And I'm gonna be like 100% fucking frank. We have a ideology that's in this country that is taking not only American citizens and immigrants not only immigrants but American citizens, and sending them off to foreign fucking lands and foreign fucking.
That they've never been.
Our administration is because it is our administration is considering sending off American motherfucking citizens to other countries and all this.
not considering they have.
Yeah. They
Well,
don't have-
no. But what I mean is,
Wouldn't bring 'em back when they said they were wrong.
Is legally, they're trying to find legal pathways. They've done it illegally. That is yes, that's happening right now, right? That's a fucking real ass thing. So when does it come back to and I'm gonna drop a bomb. I am for segregation. I am 100% for segregation.
Pew, 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 pew.
Because I believe that my people and my guidance and what I can do for my people, and only through experience of cultural experience, can get us to where we need to be so we can be sufficient at the fucking table. because what's happening and what we are living in is a educational system that does not provide for us, that does not do what needs to be done, that is not funded properly. And so when you get into the idea of we're more segregated now, which is fact, than we were back in the fucking 50s, and the funding and where the money is actually going for the federal Board of Education is not coming to us. It's not being funneled to us, and now is being even stripped even more. Fuck you. Let me deal with my people. Let me get my people and the people that and my Chicanos, my Latinos, my fucking people, that we can uplift each other so we can actually be sufficient at the table, because we're not getting anything from them. We haven't gotten anything from them. And at this point, they're stripping every fucking thing that we could possibly think of. So what do we do? What do we do, and where do we fucking go? We go to us. We go to us, our people, and because now we have money. We have influence. We have population. We're making babies. They're not.
Yeah, I love Chicanos,
But we still want
And
white
as
people
Chicano-
at our show.
Yeah, as Chicanos, I love Chicanos.
But
I will say,
hey, my white folks
that
know
is
what
some
the fuck is
Republican
going
shit
on.
you just
y'all.
said.
Hey, Miklo
You're
and
right,
Blood
and it went so
Mi-
far left that it went right. I'm like, oh man, he really been fucking-
Miklo and Blood in, Blood out. He
I'm
was
not
like,
fucking with you.
he's like,
I
use
know
me.
what you're saying.
He's like, use me, use my skin. You know what I mean?
He's like,
What you want, bro? Like I'm tired of trying
right on
to.
the outside.
I'm tired of trying to fit in. I'm
I have
tired
to
of trying to
say, like,
appease.
my first thought of all of this is maybe also a hot take, maybe not, but like, brother, do you know white folks?
I grew up.
No. Not,
I know
them.
them.
You know, like
No,
them
I love
personally.
them.
I mean,
love
in the
white
like
people.
general sense of the white folks, where this is what they want you to do. Look at the Panthers.
Let's
Look
go.
at the history of the Panthers.
Let's go. I just got.
love them,
I just
but
got
look at what
an
happened
event
to them.
space
because
for the new Black Panther
this-
Party.
well, they systematically
They
dismantle you.
They systematically
and then they
erase.
use that to then eradicate anybody
White
who tries
people
that.
is your barrier.
Because-
you gotta
because
have the
with-
Oh
barrier.
yeah, no, I got a couple of white boys that
You
like
got.
in
You
suits
need
and
more
ties.
than a
No,
couple. I'll
absolutely.
tell you. Look at Kent
Absolutely.
State.
He's
Look
right.
at Kent State.
That's
Look
how
at
they
Kent
got the-
State.
that's how they got
You can
aimed.
have a couple, and then you get Kent State.
That's how they
right?
got the American Indian movement in the 70s and 80s, and yo, that's just.
But ain't that? But
It's
like,
a non-starter
but
for them. They want
ain't
you.
Ain't
They
that the
want to
thing,
use
right?
that.
No, fuck
And
that.
then they want to use that
use shit
power.
but they use shit that AIM did in the 70s to justify what they're doing for like the pipeline
but let's
protests
talk about
and
what we're
shit like
actually
that.
saying. Let's talk about what we're actually saying. Let's break it down.
Please.
You're telling me I need a white person to make sure that I get my rights.
No.
Fuck you. Because that at the end of the day is you need to keep a white boy around. Yeah, that's the real deal. And that's the real
Miklo.
deal in this fucking country. We do need to keep a white boy around to make sure that you can go into certain spaces in order to have some respect, in order to be looked at as a fucking individual instead of a savage or an animal. And so if we're really fucking talking about this shit, you're absolutely 100% fucking right. But at the end of the day, fuck that shit, because I don't need no motherfucking white boy to tell me,
But see,
no
what if-
motherfucking white people to tell me anything that is my God-given right in the place that I was fucking birthed.
100%.
In the place that our people were birthed. And to get motherfucking people on our side, on the Mexican side, to understand that they're indigenous, to understand that this is their land as well, to understand that there is nobody illegal on motherfucking stolen land, and to understand that we can make a new idea of how we are running this motherfucking place. But yes, at the end of the day, we need allyship among the races, but we do not need leadership among other races for us to get what is ours.
100%.
By the way, what he's saying is fuck Donald Trump.
yeah, no doubt. Fuck Donald Trump. FDT.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But
I'm
hey,
kidding.
I'm not. Cancel me. So, but for what it's worth, so I hear what you're saying, right? That within the realm of thinking, okay, So real quick, deep dive. The way
Also, we gotta-
society and culture. I know society and culture are set up in this position, right? That come from Western society, that come from these ideas and these cultural beliefs. Within those ideas and these cultural beliefs, these systematic pockets of race end up being these things where white folks, as like the motherfuckers with the joystick at least at the beginning.
Ownership class. Ownership.
Well, and they had an advantage to this particular game. So they set this game up, right? Within these are the rules. And what you're telling me is that the only way is that you need to divide and do this thing because of the rules. And all I want to say is that as a native, I'll tell you that before white folks got here, those ideas didn't exist. They were taken, like they were looked at by the indigenous people of these lands in different ways. First and foremost, no one could own land. That's the goofiest thing you could say, right? But now you're saying that within it, we need to find out our paths through because of this cultural understanding, when in reality, it's like, well, what if we let go of that cultural understanding and we stop thinking? Because if you stop thinking that way, if we go, and let's say, I'm not going to say all natives, I don't know how all natives act. I don't know all natives, but I do know a few things about some natives and the natives that I know and where my culture and my people come from. And in that sense, those people, when asked about and talking about things in
Another fucking parallel universe is created.
In culture, right? And like the way the people are, you'll notice that they all have different names. They call themselves different things, but when asked in their own language, what does your name mean? Their name almost universally means the people. Okay? Meaning that I truly believe that there are no races, that we are just the people.
Construct.
Now,
100%.
perfect. Therefore, now if it is a construct, then in reality, that's where the term wide eye comes from. Way like Sitting Bull used to talk about the president and the wide eye, and they thought they were talking about like white people, but notice they didn't say white skin. They said white eye. And it's because it wasn't about the skin. You could be part of the people no matter what your skin looked like, no matter where you came from, no matter what. If you were part of the people, you were part of the people because of your eye, because of the way you saw the
vision.
world.
Because you were
Your
open,
vision.
you were awake.
Because of the way you
wide-eyed.
because of the way you understood the world, because you understood the way that the social dynamics are, because you understood what it is. Therefore, in that sense, if we're letting go, if we're talking about what you can't be, you can't be illegal on stolen land, you're absolutely
You
right.
can't be illegal as a
You
person.
can't be illegal
you
on
can finish
land.
the sentence
People.
there.
Exactly.
There's no illegal people. Illegal people don't exist.
Then that means there's also no Chicanos. Then that means there are no Chicanos to bring together. It's anybody with the eye, whether white or not. And in that, that's when it's like, okay, well, I'm not bringing in him because I need a white guy. It's not about his skin. He has the eye to understand me. So he is part of the people. And so if we expand on that tribal sense, now I'll tell you, some of the tribes are going to hear me say that and be like, I can't believe you blasphemous motherfucker talking some bullshit on my culture. That's not what I mean. I just mean if we take that philosophy and expand it upon, okay, imagine we're all the tribe. Now there's an alien planet coming. We're all the tribe. There's either the people that understand that we're the people and the people that aren't, or not. And in that case, we need to band as the people that understand,
'Cause Earth needs it.
regardless if my man's
Our ecosystem.
grandpa was one of the shooters at the Ludlow massacre.
And going back to Blood In, Blood Out, in that scene where literally Miklo
I'm done.
is like, hey, I might be white on the outside, but I'm brown on the inside. To the bone. To the bone. All right, y'all. We gotta wrap this up, y'all.
Hold on. Real quick to
Good
your
luck.
fucking point. Good luck
luck.
with that. We'd be here all night. Real quick to your point. That's that. I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but what is missing me is this idea that we need them. We've tried
The elite,
that.
right? The elite.
No,
as in
no,
them.
no.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about them.
No, and
But that's the difference.
As far as
We're
I'm
not talking
concerned right now,
about
if I close
people,
my
we're
eyes,
talking about elite.
if I listen to every single thing you guys said with my eyes closed, you guys have very similar opinions about everything.
Yeah.
Right? Even when you're arguing, you guys are arguing like you're both playing devil's advocate. Neither of you are arguing the thing you're actually arguing. You're just pressing the other person's buttons, and you guys are tossing a softball back and forth. In that sense,
He's a very good. He's got like.
well, check it out.
It's
You've been doing
jujitsu.
It
this.
is. And
It's
in that
jujitsu.
sense, I see you guys as the same type. You're on my team because I also resonate with those things. When you're saying them, I understand them. And I feel that. And I'm like, oh, even when I disagree and I'm pushing back because I can disagree. And it's fucking stupid to just sit here nodding my head and going, God damn, you're the smartest guy on earth because you think everything that I think. So I'm pushing back and I'm doing these things. But in reality, like, I'm like, okay, you know what? You have the eye for what it is. And then you said this thing where I'm like, ooh,
I don't think it's necessary.
I think that part is a small blind spot where you didn't realize you're using their rules to create your answer. And if you let go of their rules, then you have the I again. And that I, to me, is the understanding that we are raceless. That if we can fuck each other, we're the same fucking species, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
But we are required to live and play in this motherfucking
Sure,
playground.
for now.
For now.
What if we let it go together?
But there's,
And then that grows.
But that doesn't happen.
And then we spread it,
and so
Benny
like
Graham
so like
style.
what you're doing is you're living in a world of shoulds, and I'm living in a world of what's happening.
That's all we have right now.
No,
We know where the
but
fuck we're at.
but here's the thing, bro. Is like let's live in reality, dog. Let's live in reality of what the fuck is going on. We got motherfuckers like snatching up our people, snatching up our
yeah.
like people that just because they look
But
like
but
us.
that's-
No, and
Or
But
said
that
the
doesn't
wrong
have
thing on
anything to do
campus.
because that doesn't have anything to do with just white people. Because like I think that it's just
no,
corporate,
the reason
corporate-
the reason why it
corporate
does is
people.
because white people came out in droves to vote for this motherfucker. White people, white men, women
Not
came
all,
out
though.
and
Not all, though.
no, it has not. It has
Not all.
not all. But I'm not
'Cause I
gonna, I'm
have
not going to sit and
enough.
differentiate enough. I'm not going to differentiate
I'll
between
tell
the
you that.
motherfucking two. I'm not. I don't have time for that anymore. You know what I have time for?
Hey, G, you know
I
I'm a white
have time
person,
for my
right?
motherfucking
Like, you know
people.
I'm
I
a
voted
white
for
person,
Yes, no,
right?
I knew.
You picked that up?
I know,
You
I
picked that
know
up?
that I know that you're an ally by the way that you're speaking, and I know that you're not going to get offended by anything that I'm
No,
fucking
not
saying
at all.
because
Not at
you understand what the fuck is really going on. And so
I'm off-white.
if I'm
That's what
really,
people don't understand.
but
I'm off-white.
He's a meat
even
clone.
so, like if I'm saying something like, and the people that when I say shit get offended, that's because they have that bone. That's because they have that shit inside of their system that it doesn't sit right with them. Then they racist motherfucker that is underlying. Like he's not getting offended. He's not getting mad. I understand that this man is an ally
He's a
to
cholo.
what the fuck what we're trying to
No,
do.
you're right.
You know
You're
what
right
I mean?
about that,
But at
again,
the end of the day,
I think you're absolutely right about that. I just don't. Again, my whole stance.
I'm not
about
gonna
life
appease to
is that-
their fucking shit anymore. I've
The
done that
thing
too
is,
much
but
in my
But I'll
motherfucking
tell
life.
you,
I'm not
in
the only
reality,
one.
as a Chicano and as a half Chicano, half Native, I'll tell you right now that I take on those labels as almost like a peace offering in response to like so that other people can understand those things because I think
Which
other
people, though?
I think
Hold
most
on.
other people give a shit about that. I personally, if you were to ask me what I think, I don't think none of us have any race. I think we're all just things on this planet.
We all bleed the same.
We're all the
We all bleed the
whatever
same.
fuck
But
this
you're
guy's
you're
something
playing the
changed.
game just like we're playing the game in the
course.
sense of what we're doing. Like if I gave you guys my real motherfucking feelings and like how I felt about all of this shit, like your viewers, everything, y'all be questioning me like who the fuck is this guy? Like you're some weird ass motherfucker, you know? Like I don't believe in borders at all.
But it's okay
I don't
to have
believe
your-
I don't believe, you know, like
But
if
it's
we
okay to have
really
your
want to
beliefs.
break
Anti-flag
shit
taught me
down, like
well as
I
a
don't
punk
believe in
rocker.
flags. I like
Yeah.
burn that shit.
Yeah.
A Palestinian
Flags
flag,
represent
US
borders
flag, a
and borders
motherfucking
represent
Iranian flag,
authority.
a fucking KK flag. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. But there's certain ways that you have to maneuver because people in existence in society have a way of looking at things.
And I gotta add in my expertise as one of these white folks in either direction, because here's the thing is that white folks get exposed and everybody gets exposed to this shit, a lot of propaganda around racism, a lot, and their whole lives are built around some of the, and many white folks that I know still their whole lives are built around very racist thoughts. But I'll tell you, that beneath a lot of that propaganda and like misprogramming around this shit lays people just like me. That you just got to be opened up. And I'll tell you that a strategy of not allowing those folks into those spaces can be detrimental, I think, in that discovery of just being a person. Because I think white folks aren't no different than anyone else. It's just that they've been targeted. They've been literally targeted in America to believe all this bullshit that is the problems with racism. And I know a lot of racist people. I've dealt with a lot of racist people.
There's a lot of racist Mexicans
And I'll
against
tell
black
you,
people. Like,
and I say people because it's not just white folks, but I'm telling you that when you deal with racist people or meet them, you also, if you take the time to get to know them and not just be like fucking shocked by their fucking craziness and some shit, you'll find that they're generally usually like pretty okay folk, but they're kind of broken in some ways where you're like, and they're also the ones that you see that they're broken online. They're broken in different ways of how they consume media and how we know is better to consume media. And like, these are family members I think of when I fucking talk about this because it's been close to my world my entire life.
Some of the Chicanos be racist.
And how easy,
Yeah.
would it be
Chicanos to Mexicans, Mexicans to Chicanos. Like,
how easy is it to meet somebody in my family and make the assumption because of what you heard them say that I'm the same way because of the way we look, right? Because we look the same. But the thing is, we are the same. I've just been exposed to some shit that made my life way different than my uncle's, right? Growing up with these people, I've had a blessed experience.
would it be education?
I mean,
My dad hated
no,
that black-
it's
What do you
not.
mean these
You
people?
can't be educated into a culture. You can't be educated into it. You got to go experience a culture. And education is a bridge into experiencing culture. But I grew up with most of my friends being Mexicans. I grew up with one of my best friends being black. My best friend now is black. And it's been a life of me being able to be exposed and finding my way. And hip hop's been a big part of my entry into different cultures because I didn't grow up with hip hop. My dad didn't play any fucking hip hop records, right?
He's like, I got blue eyes, but I'm brown inside.
No, you're absolutely. See, I could vouch for Steven in that sense. I actually.
Know some of my uncles.
No, I'll tell you right now. You know what's wild? You know what's really wild? Is like out of all of my friends, like different people. If somebody were to come and then they said, "I'm bringing a friend," like Steven, being Steven, I'd be aghast if this guy brought another white guy to the party. Like because I know him so well. Like I don't really, and I don't mean that in like that he's like hates white guys. It's just all of our friends and all the people he hangs out with, all the people I've known that you hang out with and I've known. I mean, they've always been minorities in that sense. So he's always had that perspective. But he's not like one of them like a white guy who like then tries to be like as if he was you know what I mean? He's a DiLisio, and he's very clearly just his own him. But all of his homies, I tell you, I don't know. At least right now, it would blow my mind if homeboy walked in and brought like another white person, not because of
if
anything
they didn't have
else,
my
but
same
because
last name,
I just don't.
Right? If they had my last name, you would get it because that's about that.
But his uncle to my MMA fight.
Bro, I grew up around white people, dog.
He came to you and he was like, use me. And you opened up the Bible and showed him how to kill somebody.
Fucking A. That's exactly what happened. It's pretty much a documentary. You guys want to watch it? Go check it out. Blood In, Blood Out. And actually, let's wrap up. Let's wrap it up there because that alarm that went off. Man, it was 10 o'clock. We were supposed to start at 7. I know we started after, but we're close to 3 hours.
We're 3 hours, bro. We gotta go.
So we're breaking this into segments.
So first and foremost, we appreciate anybody who watched this far. Please, we appreciate you. Make sure you go follow Spoke. Go follow.
At FAMBAM, at Shishalifa.
At FAMBAM 5280, at Shishalifa.
Also,
AG from the 303. You can find me on all that.
And also at Denver DJ School, because that's where you're going to be able to see all of the promotions from the DJs that are going to be competing April 17th.
Hell yeah.
And we really want to see you there. All races, all colors, okay?
Everybody's allowed.
All right.
Trump fucking fans, Elon fans, fucking AOC fans, Bernie fans. Everybody's encouraged to be around so we can fight.
And fucking
We were just talking.
Yo, and with
So we
that, make sure you like and subscribe right now for LRVT, especially on YouTube. Go subscribe on YouTube
Like
if
that.
you're not already there, because Facebook on some bullshit. We might not be going live on Facebook forever. So for now, go on, go transition over to YouTube. Other than that, we appreciate you paying attention. Spoke, I appreciate you for coming through, my dog.
Thank you, my brother.
You're welcome
Appreciate
anytime.
you.
Of course,
Thank
like
you guys
anyways.
for having us.
AG, I appreciate you, my brother.
Hey man, I apologize for
Don't apologize for nothing. It's
AG, as you know, we poke the bear too. Like you just found out how we poke the bear.
Let's
This
go.
is
I
what our
love it.
podcast. This is what our podcast.
Because you can
is.
be left, and we're gonna push you farther left.
Yeah, let's go.
You might leave here being like, "Fuck."
I'm so
And shout out to the
astronaut.
shout
I
out to
thought
the
I
producer,
read
Eric.
the manifest.
I'm so far
I better
left
go
on
back.
SpaceX.
Yeah, that's it. This is fucking wonderful, guys. Thank you for being here.
yeah.
Can't wait for the show. Y'all got to go see the show.
And AG, you're
Fucking,
welcome back anytime too, my dog. We would love to discuss all kinds of the bullshit.
Oh man, we want to talk
Whenever
about
y'all
Sasquatch, pyramids.
Oh, don't get me-
we've been on
don't get me on
the whole
Sasquatch.
All right,
goddamn
let's
thing.
not,
I don't know if we've ever
let's not get into
pyramids.
that. Let's not do that. Let's not do
Don't
that.
get them on
All right.
Sasquatch.
Peace, y'all. April
Pyramids.
17th, Juice Got the Juice, DJ Battle 3K. Let's go.
Where?
Over at the Black Box. Come join us at the Black Box. Make sure you get your tickets. Pre-sales are on sale now. Make sure you get your VIP tickets.
Hell yeah.
And come
Get
join
those,
us.
Shout out to
those
the highly
promos
connected,
in.
Shout
y'all.
out. Next one. Peace.
And this has been the Lone Roger Versato with the motherfucker. I'm talking about.